That's exactly what I'm telling you. I was just telling your buddy about certain things that we do. It's like, that's a complete waste of time. Like, what do you mean? But in any case, life has changed. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You feel me?
Feel ya.
I got to start out. I wasn't going to start out today, but the Twins did win a good game last night, so I'm not going to do a whole sports deal. But I just tip of the cap to the Twins because they were getting their ass kicked again. Their middle relief is dreadful. We got to do something about that middle relief. It's just not good.
Yeah, I had a friend of mine who's from northern Minnesota text me last night because I am a Brewers fan, and he was like, "How you like that? How you like that? Walk-off home run against the Brewers. How you like that?" I was like, "Oh my God, wait! The Twins actually got a hit, let alone a home run and a win.
Impressive."
And then he was like, "Okay, yeah, I guess, yeah. Don't be gloating too much there, bud. Don't forget."
Well, there is that. But, yeah, so it's great. They won the game, thank God, tip of the cap. But like I said, it's frustrating to watch. Well, it's baseball, though. It's always like that. 162 games, you're going to get happy, you're going to get sad, you're going to get pissed off, you're going to get everything. That's how that sport works. But tip of the cap to the Twins. Well, they up now by about a game and a half?
I think so.
Oh, jumping out there. And they'd be in dead last place in the AL East, right?
Yeah, they're like 13 and a half games behind the Indians or something. Oh, man.
One of them, I know that.
Yeah.
What the hell? You can only do what you can do. Is that not right?
You can only do what you can do.
Well, that's what I was thinking in any case.
That's what I always say.
I know. That's why. I learned it from you. That's where I got it. And I got to tell you one thing. And again, you watch the news. Oh, matter of fact, I was thinking about, do we have any spot today to talk to Michael Bryant for a few minutes? Boy, we are loaded up.
Yeah.
You don't even tell me now. Just
stick him in the 8 o'clock.
If you can do it.
Right? Don't you think the 8 a.m. to 8:15?
We could. We usually have Kristyn there now.
Yeah, Kristyn's there now.
Yeah.
Now, like I said, we'll work it out. No big
Yeah.
deal. I just talked to Michael on the way in, and it's just...
Is he up now? Because we could probably do right now.
He's always up.
He probably is up now.
I'll text him and see if he can come on.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Sure.
See, that's why it's a team effort.
Well, it was your idea. That's why.
No, not to call him right now was not my idea. See, that's the big difference between me and you. You have a massive ego, and I don't.
Oh, yeah.
It's a huge,
Listen to Rudy laugh.
huge diff right there. There you go.
Listen, that's the hardest I've ever heard
That's
him
because
laugh.
it's true. He knows when he hears the truth. That's the huge difference right there.
Right there.
I just sit here meek and mild and go, okay, whatever you guys want. And you're like, here's what we're doing.
Here's the problem.
Here's how we're taking care of it right now.
I hate you so much.
Oh, no, you hate Uncle Tommy.
Never.
Do you hate your Uncle Tommy?
Then I hate thyself.
Yeah, there you go. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. In any case, maybe if we can track down Michael Bryant, that'd be great. I talked to him on the way in, so I know he's awake. That I do. Well, matter of fact, he's been awake since about 4 o'clock this morning. He's got a lot of work to do. But, yeah, I wouldn't mind getting his take on this. And again, let me talk about this while you're trying to get a hold of him, because this is my whole point anyway. So I do tune in the news. You have to turn in the national news to see what's going on with this whole situation and who's going here and who's going there, and everybody hates everybody else, and oh my God, everything's horrible, and you should just go hang yourself, and another gun battle over here, another gun battle over there, and then, oh boy, somebody had a garden party, so we better kill them in their own yard. And then things like this happened yesterday. Yesterday was Sagie's 5th birthday. Mm-hmm. Okay, we went to Louie Nanny's restaurant, Tavern 23, for a little dinner.
Oh, fun.
Which was really good. And this is a 3rd generation, because when this game came out, I was 10 years old, I believe, maybe 11, 10 or 11. I loved this game. So we're over at Target shopping for something to buy him for his birthday, another side gift or whatever. And I spotted this game, and I said, oh, my God. And Catherine went, oh, me too. We just love that game. Our kids love the game. And now the 3rd generation, and one of the biggest reasons I'm bringing this up is because both kids, Fawn and Sage, called and said, oh, we're going to play it right now. It's so exciting. We're so excited about this. It's the game Mousetrap.
Oh.
Remember Mousetrap? I love that game.
Yeah, I don't remember ever playing it.
Really?
I just remember, no. I just remember setting up the trap. Like,
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know how the actual game works.
Yeah.
But I remember in detail, and that fridge, the guy getting flung into the fridge, the tub. The guy getting flung into the tub. and like boom, boom, and then it rattles down, and how exciting that was.
Isn't it cool, though? A 60-year-old game. You got a 7-year-old and a 5-year-old just ecstatic that they're going to play Mousetrap.
That's so fun.
That's what I'm looking for in life. Look at the happiness this brought these little kids. They even called again and said, we're going to play Mousetrap. And I said, I got to go to bed. Leave me alone.
Yeah, I love that. I
do, too.
I always send Sage and Fawn a birthday song from my dog Robot because she howls. So they'll go, happy birthday to you. And she goes, oh.
Oh, yes.
And they're like,
that.
I know at some point Alex is going to tell me, okay, we don't need it anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I know at some point they're going to be too old for me to send them Robot singing, but until then.
It'll never be. You could send me that now, and I'd love it.
Perfect, because that
Why
like.
the hell wouldn't you want that? Who wouldn't want to hear a dog singing "Happy Birthday" to you?
I love those kiddos.
So I
Sage and Fawn.
don't know if there is or not, but if there is a God, thank you, God, because you made me very happy yesterday. Mousetrap.
Mousetrap. Oh, what an
Okay.
elaborate game.
Isn't that how life should be?
It's so fun. That game is so fun.
It is. It's
I'm
a
gonna
lot
have
of fun.
Alex send me a picture if they set it up.
I can get you one over at Target. They got more.
No. I'll wait until her kids are done with it because then my kid acquires
Yeah,
it.
that's true. There you go. That's a very good point. Also, Ethan's out of the mix. He doesn't get the hand
Oh,
me
Ethan,
down.
no, Ethan gets it first, and then, or the Ethan and Go-Go can play with it together.
We'll work it out. It'll all work out in the end.
We got Michael Bryan if you want him.
Michael, I would ask you how you are, but I just talked to you about 5 minutes ago, so I'm not going to do that.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. We were just talking about, the happiness of seeing little Sagey turn 5 yesterday.
Yeah.
And the excitement of playing Mousetrap and Fawny at 7, she's all excited. See, there are good things in life. And then there's
Absolutely.
the national news and politics in the world. It's not just America either, it's the world. So what's our latest struggle we're going through now, Michael?
Well, we actually had the appearance by the former president down in Miami yesterday, and he was arraigned. And what it means to be arraigned is that there was the indictment that came earlier. That's the charges, and the arraignment is when they actually appear, and the judge puts conditions on if there's going to be bail, if they're going to have to sit inside, if they're going to have to post anything.
Right.
Apparently, there was a big dispute about who he could talk to. There's a whole back and forth about people in his club that I think the allegations are based upon who he told stuff to. And so he was being prevented from talking to those people, but some of those people are like staff people, and it's a very interesting discussion to think that, if it was national secrets, that's who he was talking to them about. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because I don't know that, Nanny the server or, Bob the builder can go do anything, So,
Right. Right. I mean, do you think that maybe one of these days we're going to have to rein in our national news? And I'm talking about on all sides, not just far left, not just far right, but all of it. The lying that goes on just so they can first of all, their ratings are terrible. Because you keep lying to the people. It's not working. Stop doing it. How many guys lost their... Let's see, Tucker Carlson, Don Lemon, Dan Bongino, like 10 people have lost their jobs over this.
Yeah. Well, as the audience gets smaller, they speak to more of just their own believers, and all they do is stoke whatever their own believers believe. The thing that you and I were talking about this morning, I was just personally bothered by national people being like making fun of not many people showing up in Miami. It's like you can't on the one hand be upset and say, oh, people show up, they're going to riot and do these things, and then alternative make fun of people not showing up. It's like, well, what do you want? Do you want people to show up or not? And exactly. I personally was like, well, cool, they didn't show up, and it wasn't as big of a thing, and that's awesome. So and let's just move on and move on to the next thing, Yeah,
and that's kind of how I'd like to go through. But I suppose this has been going on forever. You look back at all the lies that have been told to Americans by their president. It's just been unbelievable. You go all the way. I haven't made it all the way back to George Washington to check on his lies, but I'm getting there, I'll tell you that.
We had duels. I mean,
yeah.
Alexander Hamilton, that's, we had duels between people and, those type of things. Although some of these people, I think they might be better off if they dueled it out and just got it done. You know what I mean? So,
faster at least.
The Aaron Burr method.
Just the Aaron Burr and get her done,
Exactly.
but it's, it's an interesting deal, and I'm saddened. I'm saddened for the institution.
Yep. I agree.
And I don't like injuring the long-term institution, whatever it is. And I've always had a concern about some of the anti-government beliefs being in the long run really bad for the institution.
Sure.
You can't go into it saying I hate all government and I'm going to be a part of it and not somehow wreck it. You know what I mean? And so there's every once in a while I'd love to sit down with some people and say, okay, just give me a version of your perfect world. I'd love to hear that because I don't think I'd want to live there.
I couldn't agree with you more. We just need, and it's never going to happen because they push and push and push and push and try to get people just all stoked and emotional and pissed off, and it's just enough. I know what I want to do. I do a lot of reading about this, that, and the other thing. And I got to be honest with you, I have yet to find a person that I would vote for president. I don't have one even yet. Now I got another year and a bit more to, almost about a year and a half, to find somebody to vote for. But my God, these people, it seems like the lamest class we've ever had.
Well, it's, it's traveling as it does, and we got more people jumping in, and, we'll see, what happens. And I think the big thing will be whether or not Biden in the end decides he's going to try to run again or not.
Right.
But going to what happened yesterday, it's being handled right now by a magistrate judge. One of the big issues is the federal judge on the case is the one that got overturned by the Court of Appeals about some decisions that she made earlier concerning the case. And so we may have that judge recuse herself. So there's a scenario out there that all of this could still be going on a year from now.
Right.
And, there's people that are putting out theories that he could run for president, he could win, and then he could pardon himself.
Well, I heard that, yes. I did hear that.
And then there's the theory of the Spiro Agnew theory, which I don't think would work with him. The idea of, look, we'll drop everything, but you just need to go away. I don't think that'll work with him because I don't see him ever being okay with going away. He loves the spotlight. He loves this attention, whatever it is. He loves this, and he lives for this, standing up and saying what he does. And so, and there's a lot of people who buy it. And I think it's sad for the institution, but it'll be a process that we'll see. We've never had a president, indicted like this. We've never had a president do what happened yesterday. And, it is, some of it is very, very poor advice he got. There were people that told him not to turn the documents back, and they were told him not to do things. And I think that was horrible advice because I think that's the obstruction issue is the biggest issue he's got to deal with. And then he has that interesting way of not wanting to go to Congress and testify and not testify in court, but then he'll go in front of a microphone and say, whatever he wants to say. So,
well, we'll keep our fingers on the pulse because, as you know, I think about 5 people should go to prison for doing this. If anybody's going to prison, there should be all of them going to prison. And I'm sick to death of these people thinking they can do whatever. And it's on both sides. There's no doubt about that. They think they can do whatever the hell they want, and we stand there and let them do it. It's got to stop.
Yeah, there's some differences in things, but the defense of other people should be in trouble doesn't really work in law. That's not
I understand that, but it's still not fair.
It works in the public eye. With some people, but it doesn't really work in the court of law. He's got to deal with his stuff and kind of look at his own bobber in ways. And then the other things that have happened, there's things that can be talked about there, but it's not really the point of anything at the moment.
All right. Well, why don't we get you on again? We could, if you have time, maybe pop on tomorrow or next. We'll keep an eye on it with you. How about that?
Absolutely. Anytime.
All right, Palomino. Thank you.
Take care.
Bye, Mike.
Michael
Take
Bryant,
care, Brett.
ladies and gentlemen. Micah Bryant. Micah Bryant.
Brett, John, Bryant.
Oh, no, you've ruined the commercial forever.
Oh, great. They have to retire that song.
We're never going to get it back. There's no question about it. That's just how it is. So what's going on, Rudy?
We can chat with Emily if you'd like.
Emily's with us. Yeah. Emily, how are you?
Oh, hang on one second. There we go.
That's all right.
There we go.
We'll get Emily, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Never better. Now, Emily, one of the things we're gonna do, with acoustic wave therapy is I'm going to find out how big a sense of humor the company and you have. What do you think?
Oh boy, I'm ready.
She goes, oh boy. You didn't sound too fired up about that. I think, to tell you the truth, and Emily, I'm very serious about this. I've had two. Would you call that a treatment, or what would you call it?
Yeah.
It is a treatment.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, we call them treatments.
Okay, so I've had a couple treatments, and there are 12 treatments. Like you have one a week for 12 weeks. Is that correct?
Yep, that's typically how we do it.
Okay, I wanted to make sure, but I got to find out right away, Emily, whether acoustic wave therapy, the company, and you have a sense of humor.
All right. I think that's up to you to decide, but
Oh no,
I'm
it's
ready
not, because
for
I'm
the
going to
challenge.
be. Here's one thing. Let me read this part of it because I want people to understand what we're talking about. One of our people reached out to me and said, "What do you think of this, Tom?" And I said, "Yeah, well, I don't really have any." Here's the guy part. You ready for the guy part, Emily?
I am.
I don't have any erectile dysfunction myself, but I'll help other people. Is that a typical guy deal?
That is a typical guy deal.
See, there you go, right there. So yes, Emily, as you know, I don't have any problems with erectile dysfunction, but I'm of an age now where I have to start paying attention to that kind of thing. I went and talked to you guys over there, and I've met about 4 or 5 of you now, and very professional, very nice, beautiful office over there on York Avenue. I walk in, you're not gonna. The number one thing I think for guys, when you're talking about below the waist for men, you got to be very careful because you get really touchy about that whole deal. I guess.
Oh, definitely.
They really do. That's why they invented, like, what is it actually called? I don't want to say this in front of Emily because I don't know her well enough. I know her, I've met her, but I don't. I'm just going to say it.
Yeah.
That's why God invented nut cups, right? For
Yeah.
baseball, football, all these things.
Yeah.
Is that not right, Emily?
I think that's right. Yeah.
What's the actual name of them, though? I don't think that's what they're called when you buy them in a store.
Jock straps, those?
Yeah, but there's like a hard shell thing that you put over that too. Particularly catchers. Catchers wear one. And it has a name, but I can't remember. Anyway, let's get back to the acoustic wave therapy part of it. So I walk in. You guys are very, very pleasant. I'm talking. One thing I also will tell you is when you get there, it's not like you're sitting around waiting for a half an hour. You get right in. You're taken care of immediately. I go in and, I hop up on the table. It took about, Emily, it's about 12 minutes? Is that about what it takes?
To do the treatment?
Yeah.
Yeah, it can take anywhere from, about 15 to 25 minutes,
Oh, okay.
typically.
You know what you just said to me, Emily?
What?
Well, typically it could take to 25 minutes. In other words, Tom, I guess you're not that big a deal, so it only took 12 minutes with you.
Because of your size.
Exactly.
It didn't take. Emily, okay. I'm
Because
so
of your
confused.
tiny peen, we only had to go for 12 minutes.
Okay, this is a very sensitive area. In this, and maybe Tom will know. Was it painful at all to have this?
You know what? And Emily will tell you this. They do ask you that all the time. Is this uncomfortable? Is anything like? And it was not for me at all.
Really?
You can
Yeah.
tell. Now, I don't know. I guess plaque is the word you'd use, right?
Right.
So you
So-
could. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, men don't typically find it painful,
No.
but we can adjust the intensity based on comfort level. And we also do offer a topical numbing spray that we could use before the treatment, but we find that most people don't need it.
And so the concept here is it uses sound waves or this therapy.
Ooh, I'm glad you brought this up.
In what does it do? So this is supposed to help with vascularity, I'm guessing. What does it actually do?
Yeah, so the main cause of erectile dysfunction is just a lack of proper blood flow.
Okay.
What happens is the arteries and veins that supply blood to the penis, they just get damaged and weak, and they kind of shrink over time, and you can get like plaque buildup in there. And so acoustic wave therapy treats that root cause of erectile dysfunction. So what it is, it's a medical device. It delivers low intensity, high frequency waves of energy, basically. So we place the device along the skin of the shaft of the penis and then right behind the testicles. And those acoustic energy waves. They can penetrate through the skin to reach those blood vessels. And so it gets rid of the plaque that builds up in there, and it helps repair those weak or damaged blood vessels. But it also helps create new blood vessels to allow for better blood flow.
That's awesome.
It does work.
Yeah,
great.
it's not invasive. There's no pills. There's no surgery, and it has no downtime.
That is a 100% fact. The one thing I would say is that I'm trying to come up with this deal, kind of like those little children's, the play rakes they have, like a lawn rake, only they're real tiny.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring one of those in with me now because when I have to hold up my own testicles, I don't want to touch my own self, so I'm going to hold it up with that.
That's a new level of self-hate.
Well, what do you think of
I
that?
don't even
Emily?
want to hold up my own testicles.
Really?
You can hire somebody for that, I bet.
No, I don't want to do that either, believe me. But here's what I like about it, Emily. I mean, obviously, this to a lot of people might be a little unsettling or even scary for them. There's nothing to be afraid of here. You go in, the people are very, very nice. It's very comfortable. Got a beautiful office. It takes, like I said, for guys, my size, takes about 1 or 2 minutes. For a guy with a normal size penis, it's about 20 minutes. Is that what you're saying, Emily?
And then, Emily, how many do people start seeing results like after the first time, or does it take a few times? How many treatments?
Yeah, so kind of like Tom was saying, we do a treatment a week for 12 weeks, so 12 total treatments, and it can vary, but typically what we notice is anywhere around third or fourth treatment, people are going to start noticing an improvement, and it should just build from there. So an improvement could mean anything from just a quicker erection or maybe a longer lasting erection, and then with each treatment the thought that it should just continue to get better.
I just have one more question. I'm just enthralled. This is so interesting to me.
She doesn't even have a penis, and she's talking about
I think it's interesting. I think the idea that you can use something you could use this technology for so many things, but what percentage of clients, because you see them for a long time then, for 6 weeks, how many of them say, I think this is working while they're there?
The vast majority.
That's awesome.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, so there's over, this is evidence-based. There's over 50 clinical studies that show the effectiveness. And in those studies, every study varies, but the effectiveness ranges anywhere from 60 to 70% for some studies, and other studies show 80% and more. Those studies are linked on our website. But just to make sure that we're, seeing improvement and doing what we're supposed to be doing, Tom had a blood flow assessment at the first visit, and everyone is going to get that. It's a free blood flow assessment. But we do that again halfway through, so after the 6th treatment, and then again at the last treatment to make sure that we're seeing a visible improvement in blood flow.
Emily, could you do me a favor the next time when I come in? I'll see you tomorrow, as a matter of fact. I think I got like a 4 o'clock, 4:30 appointment, something like that. Could you do that on my head, too, to get the blood flowing through my brain? Because that's not working that great either.
That sounds great.
Yeah,
I'll get that, too.
I don't know how good that's going to be.
That's not going to work for you. I will tell you, honest to God, Emily, next time we got to have you come in because you should meet Rudy and you should meet Brittany, and we could have take some calls, because I think there is a fear of this kind of thing that men maybe don't want to step up and say, hey, I don't need that, everything's fine, all the rest of it. I'm here to tell you there's no pain. It takes, like I said, at the most, it takes 20 to 25 minutes. For me, it takes, like I said, about 1 minute. That's it, No, mine do go about, I think, 15 to 20 minutes, something like that. It's non-invasive. We've talked about this before. The people are very, very pleasant. Sometimes you walk into even some doctor's office and you feel this little discomfort. You feel uncomfortable. There's none of that. You guys are very, very professional. You do a nice job. I will see you tomorrow. But maybe, can you come on next week? Come into the studio next week. That'd be great, because then you could have Brittany torture you the whole time.
I'm enthralled.
Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah, and it is, it is embarrassing for a lot of people, but, just know that we're all trained medical professionals. We're trained in this procedure. We encourage you to come in and bring your partners in. It seems like that's, really encouraging for people when their partner is with and can see what we're doing. And, just know that we offer a free initial visit, which includes a free medical consultation and blood flow assessment. And right now we have a special limited time offer where when you book a free initial assessment and consultation, we'll give you one treatment for free.
I think it's wonderful. 952-395-4346. Go to TwinCitiesPremierHealth.com. That is TwinCitiesPremierHealth.com. Be sure to tell them that Tom Barnard sent you. But Emily, we will see you in studio next week. What I'm trying to do here is tell them, look, I'm about 1/6 through it. I've had a couple of things. There's really not a problem. It's very comfortable. You guys are very professional. I suppose, but as you said, even if you do, because I did not have any pain, but even if you did, they can back it off to make sure you don't have any pain. They'll take care of you over there. Yep. Acoustic wave therapy works very well, and it's a hell of. And I'll close with this. This is a true story, and I think I told a couple of people over there. When I was contacted about endorsing acoustic, the whole shooting match, Twin Cities Premier Health and all the rest of it. It was literally a coincidence because about 2 days earlier, and one thing I need to mention before you go, and I know we got to get going here, but one thing I got to tell you guys that you really are going to like about this, and Emily, you got to back me up on this because you guys told me this. Okay, you ready? Mm-hmm. I had to go home and say, Catherine, I know this is going to be a lot of pressure on you and stuff, but I'm doing these treatments for the next 12 weeks. And I put it all together, and they recommend that in the 12 weeks, we're supposed to have sex 36 times. So that's my favorite part of Twin Cities Premier Health.
There you go.
That's right.
Honey, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to push you. I just say it.
It's just we gotta.
It has to happen, honey. I'm just telling you.
Yep. If you want, I'll write a prescription.
A prescription to hand to Catherine. I cannot wait to see you in studio. But seriously, I literally... We had this date planned and all the rest of it, and I don't want to do this. And I talked to doctors about this. I took the little blue pill because we're going to go to dinner and go home and have a little intimate relations. I adore my wife, and she's far too good for me is the best way to put it. So I'm on my way home from work, and I get a call from Kathy. Goes, "Oh, honey, I'm sorry to change our plans, but a friend of mine needs my help with something, so I'm going to go grab a little dinner with them if that's all right with you." That was the last time I ever took a little blue pill and sat there by myself at the house staring at the television. And I don't have, I was watching, I think, Sea Hunt or something. I don't know. Maybe it was the Andy Griffith show. But I never did like taking those pills, Emily. Is that pretty common with guys?
Yeah, it's very common, and you really lose all spontaneity when you have to take those pills.
Yep.
And what can happen is they don't treat the underlying issue, and so over time the plaque buildup is just going to get worse, and those pills are going to stop working.
I love it, Emily. We will see you tomorrow, and then we'll see you in studio next week.
Sounds great.
Thank you very much. You did a great job. You're very good at this, by the way. Have you been doing this for a while?
Nope, this is my first time.
Bye, Emily. Great job.
We'll talk to you later.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
See, that's what I love to do is find out if our advertisers have a sense of humor, and we found out today.
Yeah, and you know what? Man, if it's mechanical, the issue, and it's fixable.
It's all plaque.
That's nothing.
It literally is all plaque. That's what the whole thing. The older you get, you're going to build up plaque in different parts of your body.
Yeah,
that's how it is.
It's all blood vessel-esque. I'm very enthralled. I want to look into this when it comes to just how they use this technology everywhere. But that's so cool if you have that simple problem and you're living with that. That's cool. What a neat. I did not think I would find that as enthralling as I did. Mm-hmm. I'll be honest.
What do you think we're going to do? Emily, we can't joke around at all. This is very serious.
I just thought this wouldn't have anything to do with me. So I was kind of sitting there and I'm like,
everything has something to do with you. What are you talking about?
I make sure it does.
Whether I want it to or not.
See, I knew.
Everything.
That was so interesting.
You know how much that pissed me off, though? I took that damn little blue pill. I'm sitting there with
God. I've heard stories like that all the time.
God, I hated that.
No, date night needs to happen, or maybe please let it happen.
Could you come home early?
And those things aren't cheap either.
Oh, God, no, they are not. So, yeah, this is working very, very well for me. And I don't endorse products if they don't work. You've known me for 52 years doing this kind of thing. And if it didn't work, I'm not going to tell you it works. I'm not going to lie for money. I don't need to lie for money.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I have to say that I like Brittany, but it's not true. But
yeah, there's a lot of money into liking me. Lots of
lot of
money.
dough tied into
Lots
liking.
of cash money.
All right, we better take a break here. Thank you for your patience with that. But honest to God, and I'm not. This has nothing to do with anything. I'm just throwing it out there because it's part of being alive in the world.
Yeah.
And I suppose being heterosexual too.
Or either, for your existence.
Both women who work there are like stunning, which really is interesting.
It's fine.
I get to walk in here, two beautiful women, I'm dropping trout.
But you think everybody's beautiful.
I do not.
You think a lot of people are beautiful.
If they are.
You and Bob Sansevier, once we were on vacation, and he was like, I feel like everybody's just getting more attractive.
Oh, I think that is true.
Yeah. And I don't mean that in like a
true.
weird sexist way, but I feel like.
Liar.
Yeah. Well.
You did this on purpose.
And I liked it.
Did you like it? Oh, God, I have the wrong spot up here. I got to get this taken care of. Talk amongst yourselves for 2 seconds because man, we're doing very well. This business is working. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, we're loaded for bear today. When Brittany walked in to the studio, I said, "Hey, who's ready to do some light lifting today?" Because we are packed every single hour.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
Yep.
Which is a great thing.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
absolutely.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
No question about it. All right, we'll be right back in just a couple seconds, ladies and gentlemen. Kristyn Burtt coming up. Speaking of beautiful women like Brittany.
Shut up.
She just told me to shut up. I'll give her a compliment. Shut up. Why do I have to shut up when I'm complimenting you? Listen, you hag. Oh, she didn't hear that part. All right, we'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you again to Emily from... and again, it's just such a thrill to work with really decent people. Don't you think?
Absolutely.
I love
for sure.
Terrific person. I'm just now at the end of my 60-day weight loss program with mnfatloss.com. I've lost over 25 pounds, and I feel fantastic. Getting around is just a lot easier. My clothes fit better. There just really isn't a downside to losing the weight. Now I'll be going into the maintenance phase of the MN Fat Loss program, adding in a few more food choices to the mix. I've loved the program so much that I'm planning to go back to the weight loss program with the goal of losing another 25 or so. You will absolutely be able to lose weight like I've done and still enjoy the foods you love this summer. If you want to find out the secret to losing 20 to 30 pounds in just 8 weeks, just like I'm doing, that's about a pound of fat every day. No exercise required. To schedule your free consultation, go to mnfatloss.com. That is mnfatloss.com. Results may vary. Be sure to tell the team there, as a matter of fact, at mnfatloss.com that Tom Barnard sent you.
When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust.
If you've never been in an auto accident, it's hard to know what to expect from the insurance adjuster. Here are some tips. 1, if they talk to you about whether or not you should hire a lawyer, it's a good sign that you probably should. 2, it's illegal for them to give you any legal advice. They aren't lawyers, and they aren't licensed to practice law. 3, if they tell you that everyone involved in the accident is at fault, they're wrong. This comes from the belief that you're at fault for just being on the road. That's nonsense and not supported by any law. Finally, remember that friendly adjusters are often just gaining information. They want you to do most of the talking so they can file their report. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. I hope you're never injured in a collision. But if you are, don't sign anything until you've talked to us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. We were just talking about wonderful, great women, and then Kristyn has to pop on and ruin it. Oh, I can't hear.
Yeah, not yet.
Got it.
Oh, you got it.
Oh, now I think Brittany's up now. Oh no, now we got it. Okay, there we go. We're good.
I think we both muted it, which meant we didn't.
Now we got her.
There we
you
go.
go.
She's not talking now. She refuses to talk. I am not
No,
talking.
I was just going to say every morning I'm ruining it.
Well, it's only been 11 years now.
I know. How dare I stick around where I'm not wanted?
People do bring that up to me, by the way, out on the street. They're going to go, Barnard, let me ask you a question. You worked with someone for 11 years and had no idea what they looked like? I said, yeah, that is kind of weird, isn't it?
It is. Like if you really think about it, you're like, what? How did that happen?
I know. It's not the greatest record you got there, Tom, but what are you going to do? So what's the late? Oh, Catherine and I, by the way, went back to Shrinking because we saw a couple episodes we didn't like. There was a lot of silliness and they were not very good. I think there was episode 3 and 4. Watched episode 5 last night. It was terrific.
It's a great series.
It was really good.
I know we were talking about it on The Family yesterday.
Yeah.
And I think Catherine had mentioned that she was like, we had dropped out. I'm like, keep going.
Yeah.
It really is a good show. And I love that even Harrison Ford's embracing TV. I mean, if you had said that 10 years ago, like, you're going to see Harrison Ford in a television series, I would have laughed. I'm like, he's a movie star.
Who put that cast together? Because whoever did a hell of a job.
It's the same crew for Ted Lasso.
Oh, Jesus, what a shock. There's a shock. No, they did a great job. That cast, the young black woman who's a psychologist.
Oh, she's so good.
She's unbelievable.
So good.
She's amazing.
So
Get
good.
the hell out of my house. Wait a minute,
know.
you're a psychologist. You're supposed to be even keel. She says, get the hell out of my house.
I love how she had that big thing of water, and that was like her narrative for so long. Was just like, I drink water. I put stickers on it, and then she was trying to get Harrison Ford to drink water. I thought it's just fun. Is it unrealistic repertoire? Back and forth. Yes, but it's fun. It's that Cougar Town fun.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. And I know you didn't love Ted Lasso, but I think if you look at the characters and the actors they put together even for that show, you can see where that carries over into Shrinking. Like, they have a really specific look and idea of like who each actor needs to embody, and I think that's what I love. The characters are really fully realized and developed.
No, I don't think there's any question. Harrison Ford is so good, you have a hard time remembering that he's acting.
Yes.
God, is he good.
I mean, if we do have an Emmy Awards, which is part of some of the news I have today, it would be really interesting to see Harrison Ford at the Emmy Awards, to be honest. Like, that's not something that is normal. Like, we don't see him hanging out with the rest of the TV world.
I still love telling that story because many, many years ago, Chris Ford and I was about 100 years ago, I guess it was, working with a guy named Chris Ford out in Los Angeles, just having a great time and blah, blah, blah. They said, so Tom, you're in radio too? I said, yeah, I do radio back in the Twin Cities. He said, my son is thinking about getting in he's taking some acting lessons, thinking about maybe getting into maybe even some acting. His son was Harrison Ford. So it kind of worked out pretty well for him.
Panned out, didn't it?
Kind of panned out for Chris Ford and his young boy Harrison.
He became famous in his 30s. He was not someone that was, very, very young and famous.
That's
he was
exactly
a carpenter
right.
for a long time and made furniture for a lot of famous people before he became famous.
That would have been like 1975, right around there. That sounds right, doesn't it? Because Star Wars came out in 77, didn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, so that was almost 50 years ago, for Christ's sake. I didn't even think about that, but it was, yeah. But he was very, very happy and very, very proud. My son wants to get into entertainment. Maybe you could talk to him about getting into radio. I never did, obviously, but what a cool story.
He didn't need you.
Yeah, he didn't need Uncle Tom, so don't worry about that. But in any case, so yeah, I followed you guys. That's one thing I will tell you that my coworkers, if they tell me, because you and Rudy and Brittany and everybody tells me, oh, you should give it a whirl, give it a shot. So I do, and a lot of times it does pay off because those 2 episodes I did not like at all. They were way too silly for me. I'm not a big silly guy, but that episode yesterday, I believe it was episode 5, was terrific, really good.
Yeah, such a good series. I'm glad you're giving it a second look because it certainly deserves it.
It does indeed. Anything else that I've ruined in my own life that I should bring back?
Well, at least tonight there's a premiere. It's actually already streaming. It's The Full Monty has returned. So
Really?
If anyone saw the 1997 film, they're now doing a TV series on Hulu. It's 8 episodes, and it follows up with the men 26 years later. And if you remember, they were from an English steel town, and they were stripping for the ladies at their local theater to make some extra money. This time around, things are a little bit more bleak in their town. It's kind of run down, the theater where they used to perform. That's no longer there. So you kind of catch up with their lives, but it is still so charming. And I think what made the movie work in 1997 is what makes this series work as well.
Right.
I think you'll enjoy it. I know you love British comedy, so.
I do. I absolutely love British comedy. Even there are shows, I was trying to think, I can't remember the name of the show, but it's a British show, mostly women. Matter of fact, it's almost all women. And I love it. It's hilarious. But I got to have the little descriptor on there because I cannot understand a damn word they're saying.
Like, you need the subtitles bad.
Oh, I need them bad on that show.
When
Seriously.
I watched Billy Elliot, the movie,
Yes.
I had no idea. I just kept the subtitles on the whole time. I'm like, what are you saying? The only thing I heard was Billy. And other than that, I don't know what else they were saying.
That's the problem right there. Yeah, I do. I can't remember the name of the show, but it's really, really good. It's all women talking to each other. And as it turns out, I think at the very beginning, one woman's husband cheats on her and then marries her best friend. And it's very, very involved, and it's very funny. And there's another woman in there that, let me put it this way, I don't think I'd want to fight her. She's got an edge to her. I might get my ass kicked, if you know what I'm saying. She's really good. Really good. So, yeah, I mean, there is so much out there. Watched an episode last night. We haven't watched it in a couple of months now, and I don't know why. But we watched an episode of Cobra Kai last night. No, it's not for everybody.
That is such a good series.
It's a great series.
What I love about Cobra Kai, and we haven't talked about that in a hot minute or two,
right.
what I love about Cobra Kai is that it is consistently good. It's a series that it doesn't have, sometimes there's an uneven season where you're like, you come out strong with season 1 and then it's okay. In the second season, you're like, oh, I'll go through to season 3 and then season 3 is good. This one has been consistently a winner.
Yes.
And I think that it's hard to do a revival and still really feel that you feel connected to the characters that you knew from the original movies, which is, obviously the Karate Kid. And this one just makes everyone's so charming in their own way. Even when they're flawed, even when they're villains, you still like them.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, what's the tall guy with the gray hair's name? What's his name again? The guy that's constantly battling.
Yes.
I can't think of his name.
I can't think of his name either. And he was on Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah, that guy. Yep, that's the guy.
That
I'm
guy.
talking about.
I want to say it's William.
I cannot remember his name, but he is such a prick on that show. Oh, God.
No, I'm going to look it up because it's going to drive me nuts because I should totally know his name. Cobra Kai. They are, speaking of them, they unfortunately, their final season has been disrupted by the writer's strike.
Oh, is that 6?
Yeah, so it's going to be a hot minute. Martin Cove.
Oh, Martin Cove's great.
Yeah.
He's not on it much anymore in the what is it, the 5th season?
No, he's not.
Did he get sick or something?
No, I just think it's where like the characters where they've taken them.
The reason I ask you that is that we had him on the I was still on the morning show back then. I was still doing radio back then. You ever heard of radio? I used to do that back in the day.
No way.
But in any case, we had Martin Cove on the show, and he had to have his daughter on with him because a lot of times he couldn't understand what you were saying.
Oh, maybe he has hearing issues.
Yeah, maybe he does, but it was really kind of sad that because I'd ask him a question, and then he'd go to his daughter, what did he say? And yeah, it's because I've always liked him. He's a really good prick. You ever notice that?
He really is, isn't he? He's really kind of a marshmallow in person. Like he's very sweet. Yeah, he's very, very sweet.
Nice
and on Dancing with the Stars, he struggled with the choreography. He's not. It's funny because they obviously designed stunts or designed movement on Cobra Kai around him very well to make it look like he's very virile and strong. And he doesn't move as well as you would think. So. Dancing was definitely a struggle for him, but they kept on playing into the Cobra Kai character, and he lasted a couple weeks, and it was fine. But I just think he's maybe a little bit more fragile than what we see on.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think he is fragile. That's a good way to put it. But
yeah, and I think they're shooting around him really well, so you don't. Just for us watching as an audience member, we have no idea, which is fine.
Was the show you were talking about prior about the British show, was that Absolutely Fabulous?
No. But that's a great show,
That's a good one, too.
That's
Okay,
a really
listener
good
wrote
show.
in and asked that. Nicole did.
God, I did.
I'll look
Fab was, that was like a pop culture moment.
Yes.
Oh, God, yes. The drinking was good on that show.
Yes, it was.
Those women like to drink, I'll tell you that.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, very good.
But just sort of talking about, I want to just kind of like touch upon the writer's strike because we haven't talked about it this week. We are in week 7, but we're starting to see the effects. And this is where I start like raising the red flag a little bit because CBS, which had said, you know what, we're going forward with our full fall scripted schedule. They have now said, okay, it's like most likely going to be unscripted to start. And as a result, they've pushed all of their like normal summer shows that they do like Big Brother to like August premieres so that they will bleed into the fall because they're not going to have any shows ready. They have nothing banked in terms of scripted for the fall. We're going to see things. Are you ready for this? Because this makes me cringe because I'm like, this is how desperate they are. They're going to supersize Survivor. They're going to supersize Amazing Race. They're going to make them 90 minutes each to sort of, extend the time. They're going to do, ready for this, the Price is Right specials. Let's make a deal specials.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So I'm telling you, we have kind of reached the point of no return with these strikes. And I say strikes plural because we now have 2 weeks left before SAG has to have a buttoned up contract with the producers before the actors go out on strike. And publicists are now getting stressed out.
Yeah.
Because you have all of these summer movies and this is big money at the box office and you need to do promotional tours, press junkets, all of that. They have to get them all done before June 30th, even if the movie comes out in August, just in case there's an actor strike because the actors will not be able to promote these movies if they are on strike.
God.
So now there's a scramble in this next 2 weeks. Like actors are, all they're doing is like interviews, promotions, everything.
Yeah. That's
So also a warning to all of you, this could affect you guys too.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been through SAG and AFTRA strikes before, believe me.
Yeah, because in terms of, trying to get actors to come on and talk about a TV show and a movie, they're not going to do it throughout the strike.
Nope. That's going to be amazing.
Yeah,
It's
they're
too
crossing the
bad.
picket line.
It's unfortunate, but that's just the way it is. And I just, so what is the big problem? What's the big chasm between the studios and the actors?
It's similar to the writers, residuals on the streaming network.
Okay.
They're making pennies on the dollar, pennies. I'm serious when I'm talking about that compared to what you would make on a broadcast show. And in fact, a lot of the writers are talking about this. They're like, I did a show back in 2002 and I'm making more residuals off of that show that is over 20 years old than the big like blockbuster, like Stranger Things that I just did a couple years ago. And that shouldn't be happening. So it's one of those situations where, the inequity and it's part of the union's fault because they make concessions thinking it's new technology. Yeah, you can just give us this. And once it gets up and running, we'll renegotiate. You get to the point, the producers don't want to renegotiate. They're making the money.
They're making all the money. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Sherwood
and
Shorts.
of course, AI is the other big issue.
Oh, yeah, because more and more people are being terrified. But I saw a woman last night on the national news that she got a call from her daughter that she'd been kidnapped and she was crying. And she said it was her talking. It was her crying. It was not her. It was AI.
And they spoofed their phone number, right?
Yeah. I mean, that is terrifying.
That is terrifying.
Because there's no question it was her that was talking and crying, but it was an AI version of her.
Well, and think about all of us. We're on talking every single day. Do you know how easy it is to spoof all 4 of our voices?
Well, not Brittany's. That's too weird.
Not mine.
What?
I'm going to never give them a good copy.
Do I now have to start talking really weird?
Yes, exactly.
Yes, start.
She just took a shot at you.
I'm okay with that. I'm so honored.
That all worked out in the end. We do have to take a break here. You can hang with us, though, aren't you?
Yep.
I like the way. And by the way, yesterday on the family show, with you and Timmy both on for an hour, that's quite a show now.
It's a power hour.
It's the power hour on the family podcast, but that was a lot of fun, so I wanted to bring that up to you. And we'll be right back with Kristyn Burtt, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, MyPillow has a massive closeout sale happening on their all-season slippers. Listeners continually make My Slippers the #1 selling MyPillow product. And I have a feeling you want to stock up now when you hear this offer. When you use my promo code TOM, you'll get the all-season slippers for $25, regularly $149.98. That's over $120 in savings. Limited to 10 pairs at checkout. These will sell out, trust me. My slippers have an exclusive 4-layer design that you won't find in any other slipper. The patented layers make these slippers ultra comfortable and extremely durable. They help relieve stress on your feet, and you can wear them anytime, anywhere. They also come in a ton of additional sizes and all new colors. Just go to mypillow.com, click on the radio podcast square to grab a pair of the all-season slippers for $25. Regularly priced at $149.98, limited to 10 pairs at checkout. Enter promo code TOM for this incredible offer. These won't last long, so please do order now.
When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust.
If you've never been in an auto accident, it's hard to know what to expect from the insurance adjuster. Here are some tips. 1, if they talk to you about whether or not you should hire a lawyer, it's a good sign that you probably should. 2, it's illegal for them to give you any legal advice. They aren't lawyers, and they aren't licensed to practice law. 3, if they tell you that everyone involved in the accident is at fault, they're wrong. This comes from the belief that you're at fault for just being on the road. That's nonsense and not supported by any law. Finally, remember that friendly adjusters are often just gaining information. They want you to do most of the talking so they can file their report. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. I hope you're never injured in a collision. But if you are, don't sign anything until you've talked to us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
Hello, I'm Brad Huckle, President at North American Banking Company.
And I'm Mike Bilski, CEO at North American Banking Company.
As a community bank based right here in the Twin Cities, we believe in taking the time to get to know our customers and their businesses.
And part of that is hiring and cultivating a team of experienced lenders. When your business banks with us, you're not training in a new, inexperienced banker.
In fact, our bankers have worked with many of the same customers for years, earning their trust. We get to know you and your business, and you get to know and rely upon us.
When your business is looking to capitalize on an opportunity or solve a problem, we'll be here to help you.
Tom here. I know Brad and Mike, and I trust that with my banking, they've personally delivered on everything they've just said. So why not bank with my banker, North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, an equal housing lender. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Got a couple of text messages while we're in break there. One that made me depressed as hell. A friend of mine goes, Tom, you were a couple years off. That wasn't 1975. It was 1972. That was 51 years ago.
Holy buckets.
Jesus. I was a 20-year-old boy. I thought it was 75 because his first movie was American Graffiti, and that was 73.
Oh, that's right.
So it was 72. It wasn't 75.
Jeez.
But was he in anything much in that 4-year period between 73 and 77? I don't remember him being in anything else, actually.
American Graffiti, and I think he played like a background. Didn't he play like a bellboy in a movie, right?
Oh, did he?
I think he played like a bellboy. He had one line or like a half a line, or he gave a look. Oh, you know what it was? He played like a bellboy, and somebody had told him after he had done the movie, he went to like the executive. They called him in, and this executive said, "You're never gonna make it."
Yeah.
Because the reason is we got so-and-so, some other actor at the time who was a big hot actor, and he's like, he's good looking and he's charismatic or whatever. And his response was, well, I thought you wanted a bellboy.
Yeah.
I played a bellboy. I played the best bellboy. And then, 3 years later, boom, Star Wars hits.
Dead Heat on a Merry-Go-Round.
Yeah,
So what year was that?
That was 1966.
No.
But he was obviously trying to be in the industry, I'm sure.
If he's taking small parts.
1966. What was he, about 11?
He's 80.
He's 80?
He's 80.
I'm going home and going to bed. Jesus,
I was
Palomino.
like, what are you talking about? He's 80. He's older than you.
Oh, that's how we're going to present this.
No, but
he's even older than you.
I didn't know that was possible to be older than you.
I didn't either.
No, but Tom, think about this.
God.
Someone was asking you for advice for him, and in your head, you've been thinking all these decades.
Yeah, kiddo.
Decades.
It was like this kid that was like 10 years younger than you.
Well, yes, that's exactly right. You're 100% right. I thought he was younger than me.
He is your elder.
He's 80.
It reframes the whole story, doesn't it?
I hate him now.
But it also makes sense where he didn't become really famous until his, I think it was
Star
his
Wars.
early 30s, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, American Graffiti, but I will tell you, every person, well, Doug Sprinthal, who, Car Selling Secrets, better be coming back, Sprinthal. We need you on Car Selling Secrets on the Family Podcast, and I'll appear on this show too, you pill. Doug Sprinthal, Harrison Ford's breakthrough is American Graffiti, and I thought he was terrible in it. Because most people thought he was, what color is that car? What, a piss yellow or puce, or what did he say?
It's impressive that you know his lines.
I think it was piss yellow or puce, I think is what he said that your car was, or the other guy's car was. But I cannot believe that was a half a century ago.
But doesn't that reframe the entire story for you? I think it would.
I was a baby.
You were a baby, but he was a sort of baby.
Yeah, he was even. Yeah, he was. Well, he would have been about 30.
Baby,
He'd have been about 28, 29 then, right?
Yeah.
What did you say? 66 was when that was. You said the 66 when he was a bellboy.
Yeah,
1966.
1966. Yeah. So he was born in 1941. You're saying, or 43
He's born
maybe.
In 42.
42. So Jesus, he was not very old. He was 24 years old. Well, he's playing a bellboy though. I suppose 24 years old for a bellboy, or 23 maybe. Mm-hmm. I guess.
How do you remember this? I just looked up this line because I was like, why do you remember this line from a movie that you forgot existed 2 seconds ago, and then you pulled up the line, and I pulled up the line, and you were so close to it that it's
what was it actually?
Scary. Ha, that's pretty good. Say, I like the color of your car there, man. What's it supposed to be? Sort of a cross between piss yellow and puke green, ain't it?
I thought it was puce.
Either way, you really were, I mean, why do you know that? Like, what is in your brain that's like, oh yeah, I forgot the movie existed?
I'm mentally ill. Do you ever know that?
Here's a line. Like,
yeah.
That's wild.
There's something about men's brains that are able to keep this information, because I forget my daughter's middle name, but I can tell you every line from He-Man from when I was 7.
Well, there you go.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
You will forget. Yeah, and like my husband, I'll be like, send him to the store. I'm like, buy these 3 things, and I know that there is a phone call coming 2 minutes later.
I can be honest with you and tell you how that happened. This is a true story, by the way. This shows you how people can come together and develop this wonderful thing. I was talking to a nice man. Again, I talk about Desnick's once in a while. He used to be at the corner of Penn Avenue and Plymouth in North Minneapolis. And I was talking to a man in front of there, a nice Jewish man. And I say that because he brought it up. And he said, Tom, you have to understand something. You have to know a lot more than everybody else, or they will bury you. That's what he told me, and I was a kid when he told me that. I was probably 11, maybe 12. And he said, you have to understand everything, read everything, know everything, and remember everything, or they will bury you.
Who's they?
Same people who are like buying people's votes by kissing their ass, those kind of people. You know, they're going to take advantage of you, I think. And by they, I just think he meant everybody.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, look at the money grubbing that goes on in this world. People will do anything for money. So you have to be smarter than them and have a lot more knowledge of the past and look toward the future. And he taught me that a long time ago, and he taught me a couple of tricks on how to do it. Mm-hmm. So he's long dead, unfortunately, but Muttel, we loved you.
His second piece of advice was, and if you don't know everything, pretend like you do.
And just pretend like you do anyway. That's exactly right. That's most people. But there's some tricks with retention that you can play. I really haven't thought about it much, but he taught me a few tricks about retention that really they've worked forever in my whole life. And it was just that he was concerned about a young boy on Plymouth Avenue. He was great. It was a wonderful, wonderful thing. Yet another thing, Kristyn, you might have heard this, you might not have heard this, but it was Sagey's 5th birthday yesterday. 3rd generation now. We bought him a box, Mousetrap. You ever played the game Mousetrap?
Yes, that's a classic game.
He is so excited about it. I loved it. Catherine loved it. Our daughter loved it. Our son loved it. And now our grandchildren love it. He was so excited. And Fawny, too, his older sister, we're going to go home and play Mousetrap.
Oh, I love that.
Because they love the box.
I love board games. I feel like they just get cast aside these days, but I can play them for hours.
That's exactly it. So two things that we learned. You could make kids happy by buying a mousetrap, and pay attention to your elders and learn how to retain, learn retention, because it's only going to help you in the long run. Right?
That's 3 things.
That is now? It's 3 things? I can't remember my math very well. I can remember everything but how to do addition.
Meh, we'll get you some new math. You'll be fine.
That's exactly
I have an update from yesterday's story on Wheel of Fortune, and this is probably the most I'll ever talk about Wheel of Fortune in my entire life.
Sure.
But you know how we were talking? I said, doesn't it feel like a natural fit to have Vanna slide over to the host role, and then Maggie Sajak slide into the Vanna role?
Yeah.
Well, it turns out that they're already talking to another celebrity host, Ryan Seacrest.
No. That's a bad call. He has no personality.
Say, too.
He's a terrible personality.
And you know who else threw their name in the hat? Whoopi Goldberg. She wants the job, too.
No, she's horrible, too. They're both, neither one. They'd both be terrible.
Yeah, this is what I was saying. I'm like, why don't they just go with the obvious choice, which I think will be seamless for viewers? Like, you keep Vanna there, and then you slide in Maggie, and we're all good.
Yeah.
And then when Vanna retires, Maggie can take over. She can be a Nepo baby and relish in all of that, but she knows the show really well. But I feel like, I even felt like when Ryan Seacrest went to the morning show with Kelly Ripa, I felt like he got completely lost. And I was like, I forgot all about him for years. Mm-hmm. And now I feel like he's trying to move back to the forefront. And I know he has American Idol, and he's great at American Idol, but I just feel like he'll take the job if he's offered it.
He's never made an impression on me ever. And do you think that's a good sign with somebody who's relying on their personalities? Like, I don't feel like I know anything about him. I don't think I have any feeling of any connection with him whatsoever. I think cold. That's it.
And you should have had a connection with him if he had done his job right on Live with Kelly and Ryan.
Yeah.
Yes,
now, Mark
absolutely.
Consuelos.
Yeah. Yep.
Because that is the type of show where you go on, you've got 15 minutes of like unscripted ad lib. We went to dinner last night and we did this and all that. You tell the stories. And none of us can probably offer up a story other than he had like random girlfriends that sort of like moved with him to New York. One of them became a chef, then he broke up with her. I mean, that's all I know.
And I mean, keep in mind, you're sitting next to Kelly, who's just oozes personality. I mean, she just has so much likability. You just like, you can't help it. Even if you want to hate her, you go, all right, you're pretty cute and fun.
She's funny.
She's funny.
And she really doesn't take herself too seriously. And God, I know everything about her sex life with Mark Consuelos.
Right? And so, like, which is unique because usually people on TV don't give you any of their inside life. And so I honestly am so blah about Seacrest doing anything.
I agree.
So
yeah, I agree.
And that's what makes me think, I'm like, Sony is going to make a second mistake after they did this with the whole Jeopardy situation, dragging it out with all of the celebrity hosts and then just having the, executive producer go, no, it's my job. And then he comes in and takes it over. And then he had the mess and they have to bring in other people. And it's fine now with Mayim and Ken Jennings, but they went through a lot of chaos to get to the place of, moving forward. In Alex Trebek's legacy, walking in those footsteps. They're going to wind up doing the same thing with Pat Sajak.
What is it about Seacrest in Hollywood that they want to make him happen so badly? Like, did he kill a bunch of goats and has a deal with the devil? Because why are they always, like, trying to shove him down our throats?
I would love to know the answer to this because I think he's really good on Idol. I think he serves the project very well. But he tried to do a daytime talk show. I don't know if anyone remembers that. That was like the early aughts. He had his own studio at Hollywood and Highland. He then went to E! News and tried to make sort of like the E! News happen. And I didn't love him on the red carpet. I always preferred Juliana Rancic.
Absolutely.
Doing the interviews. And then he moves to Live because, the E! thing was starting to dwindle. And it's like, I feel like he like tries all these things and it never really latches on. He's fine on New Year's Eve. Dick Clark's rocking New Year's Eve.
Fine is fine. And you can be fine in that role. Fine. Just like American Idol, be fine in that role. That's fine. But yeah, I feel like there's got to be, does he have dirt on everybody? Like, how is he getting these jobs constantly?
I mean, he is a multi-millionaire several times over thanks to the Kardashians because he is the producer of that show, not only on E! but also on Hulu. So he doesn't need the money. I don't understand why he's constantly trying to catch fame. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's a weird thing to me.
That's it. He wants to be famous. Some people have to be famous. It's really
and
weird.
his radio show is still on the air too. I mean, that has been consistent for decades.
Yeah.
Is it on in this market?
Yeah, they replay it in this market, yes.
They do, okay. I've never heard it. Is he any good?
He's fine.
I don't mind. I don't so much mind the radio show. I think he's a good broadcaster. But I think he's also very guarded, and that's that's his downfall, is that his likability just isn't there. People don't know him. Like Brittany said, he's cold.
Yeah.
Like, people don't really get him.
It's like, that's where I think, honestly, you want to replace somebody with AI, I'd be fine with that.
Yeah.
Like, that's where you can go, put in a robot, I'm fine. Put my Roomba with like a little voice box, and I'd watch that. Done.
Yeah, you were
and I think that's it. I think you've like really hit the nail on the head there, Rudy, because it's one of those situations. He's been in these positions where you do have to say, like, this is what's happening in my personal life. You don't have to give up everything, but you have to offer up some little morsel or tidbit that feels authentic and genuine that we feel connected to.
I think that makes sense. I think that does make sense. You guys, all you're just seeing now, it's that retention thing again that just popped up again. Because I think we've got it somewhere. I don't know if we got it recorded anymore, but remember the Alex Trebek news report from the Vancouver radio station? Have you ever heard? Oh, you've never heard it?
No.
Oh, God, it's hilarious because he double pumps like a sumbitch. Because he obviously didn't write the copy. You could hear him rattle a copy, and he goes, there have been some reports that Vancouver police have moved in on the Negro district. I gave him a copy that said Negro district, and he just double pumped like a son of a. It was like, what? I will never forget hearing that. It's like, are you kidding me? Do you think they did that to him on purpose?
What year was that?
Oh God, that was probably 60 years ago. I wouldn't doubt. But yeah, he was like a radio news guy in I think it was Vancouver, if I remember correctly. But he literally goes, and Vancouver's Negro district. My God, really? Yeah, you'll have to hear it sometime.
Sure it wasn't Toronto?
Oh, maybe it was Toronto. I thought it was Vancouver.
I see a lot of stories on him, and obviously most of these stories are all about his passing, but I don't see any. I'll keep looking.
I'll find out who. Lastman has it. I know that. I'll call John Lastman. I know he's got it. So there you have it. Anyway, but I will never forget that because he literally sounded like he was sweating bullets when he had to say that.
I would have had a panic attack and ran out of the building. Well, that's how I would have rolled.
I would have been like, I would have handed it to someone else. You read this, not me.
But back then, you have to remember there still were that word was still being used in the description of some clubs and organizations.
Yeah.
The United Negro College Fund. That was the name of the college fund. Was the United Negro College Fund. You guys are too young to remember that.
No, I know that, and
do you remember that? Okay.
Yeah, but I feel like I would figure out an acronym real quick.
Well, I think that's what he was trying to do. Yeah, he was trying to do something. I don't know, but in any case, so what else you got there, sister?
What else is out there?
What are disturbing things you want to tell me?
No, well, there might be a movie for you this week.
Ooh,
I'm sure Tim Lammers is going to. I'm hoping Tim Lammers is going to talk about it on Friday, so I don't want to spoil too much. But just a reminder that Wes Anderson's Asteroid City comes out on Friday.
Now, what's that all about?
That is about a city that has an asteroid that lands in the middle. Remember, Wes Anderson. You've got to wrap your brain around the absurd. Okay, I was like, make sure. And that they have a festival around it each and every year. And you've got quirky characters. Tom Hanks is in this. Scarlett Johansson is in this. Steve Carell's in it.
God.
And it looks absolutely mad and fabulous all at once.
I will definitely watch that. First of all, I know some people don't like Steve Carell because he does have an attitude. You ever talk to him in person?
I haven't.
God, he's got an edge to him.
I love him as an actor.
I do too. But he's got I interviewed him one time, and he's got a huge edge. It's like, you ain't getting any closer than this, pal.
What year did you interview him? Was it the height of The Office, or was it?
Yeah, pretty much the height of The Office. That's exactly right. Or it might have been at the very beginning when it just started to take off. But he was not very friendly, and he was very standoffish. So that might just be his personality, though.
Yeah, I know, like, the cast, like, he has a genuinely good reputation on set.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
People enjoy working with him, so.
I love his work. I think he's hilarious. The things that he says on, what the hell's in it? You just brought up the name of the show. Damn
The Office?
Oh, The Office, yeah. The things he says on there to his people, it's like, oh my God.
It's so funny.
It's so cringe.
It is
Some of
cringe.
it, it's amazing to see, because I believe the show premiered around 2006. It's amazing to see even how comedy has changed, because there are some episodes, the way they're written, you're like, oh, you couldn't do that in 2023. It's really interesting to see the evolution and how quickly things changed.
You know what I love about him is how he would change words.
I know.
I just loved it when he would do, and he did it about 10 times, and I can't remember all the words, but it was like,
The one you love was he's like, no, I'm not superstitious, but I'm a little stitious.
that's a perfect example. I'm a little stitious.
He's so. Or when he goes, oh, do you like this mug that says "World's Best Boss"? You like this mug? Yeah, I saw it at the store and I just had to buy it.
For myself.
I know. It was just there's
he's
so
great.
many parts. Oh my God, I watch that show way too much. It's just like my comfort show.
I'm not.
It's so
superstitious.
easy to rewatch too without getting
It
tired
is.
of it.
And the longer versions now they have
On
the
Peacock.
the 30. Yeah, on Peacock,
That's-
right? Exactly.
I'm telling you, Peacock has become one of my favorite
Phenomenal.
streaming services because
Yep.
it has all these like extras to shows I want to watch, and because of you mentioning the longer, extra. They have like a special name, but I started watching those, and they just it's just extra stuff. It's so funny.
It's really good.
Yeah.
That was stuff that was originally on the DVDs. So
Oh, okay.
they took the DVD versions and they put them on Peacock, which I think is great. Peacock is, and NBC, and I think we touched upon this maybe on Friday with Bob, but the NBC is really making a push for Peacock because they've got the Olympics coming up in 2024.
Yep.
They want you all to subscribe. So they're investing a lot of money, not just with scripted, but also unscripted. They're doing really well, as Brittany knows, with doing the supersized version of some of their Bravo shows, and then bringing in what will be probably like Emmy bait, like Poker Face. That
Yeah.
type of show is probably going to get nominated. They're really making a
I love
push
that
to
show,
make
by the
it
way.
the core focus, not NBC itself. Peacock is wants to be the premier brand of their entire network.
What's that woman's name in Poker Face? She is phenomenal.
Natasha Lyonne.
Oh God, is
you
she
love
good in
her,
that show?
and I love her too.
She will kick your
She's
ass.
good in
I'll tell you.
everything she's done.
Everything she does, Black is the New Orange, Russian Doll. She's just so.
Orange is the New Black.
Yeah, I was-
Black is the new orange. I mean, apparently that was a precursor.
you guys act like that'll be the only thing I screw up.
Prequel.
Yeah,
It's a
I'd watch that.
prequel. Black is the new orange.
Who knew
and then
that I
they'll
was
get Orange is the New
a producer? I hope I get a credit on that.
Yeah.
Ooh, I agree with you. You should get credit on that one.
Thank you.
Now, so much great stuff to watch now. Catherine and I are having a really pretty good time with that whole day. But Poker Face, she is phenomenal on that show.
She's so good. I was trying to
So
do
good.
it.
All right, and I need to make that TV list for you, Brittany, so we can start adding to it for everybody, because as this strike really starts to constrict Hollywood, we're going to be making sure that everyone catches up on everything that's already out.
Oh, and you know what? That's why, because I am such a comfort watcher when it comes to stuff. I only watch new stuff pretty much with Justin. But there's so many good things like that, and I'm on a Real Housewife journey of old episodes that I'm in love with. So you and I will have to curate special things. I love that for us.
We can do a reality show list. We can do.
I want you to do me a favor. Between now and tomorrow, don't get all stitious on us.
Just get a little stitches.
Just a little stitious.
I have to figure out what stitches feels like,
My husband just texted me, we lose our free Peacock access end of June.
Well,
so
there you go.
I'm going to go ahead and fix that for us.
That's right.
So what is that?
It's $4.99 a month. It's not that expensive.
I think they have a deal right now, $20 for a year. Oh, are we owned by Peacock? We're talking so much about it.
I know.
Who's
I get mine
owned
for
by
$1.99
Peacock?
a month right now.
I'm just saying, doesn't it sound like we have stock in the company that much?
Does
They
Tegna
should.
own
Peacock needs to send us swag. Come on.
Totally.
Who owns NBC? Is that Tegna?
Universal.
Yeah, Universal does. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh, Universal owns it. Okay.
Yeah.
Because ABC is Disney, right? Mm-hmm. And then CBS is owned by drunken men.
Entercom, right? Isn't it?
Is it Entercom?
I think Entercom.
Really?
It was Viacom.
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 Yeah,
That's what it is. Entercom's a bad radio outfit.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you ever work for them?
For a small, short little stint. What was funny, though, is when I was working for Intercom, is right before I got the job at Hubbard Broadcasting. And there was a lot of people at Intercom that were kind of pricks to me in the hallways.
No.
And the second I got the job at Hubbard, all of a sudden everyone's like, hey, so glad you got the job. Hate to see you leave. If there's ever an opening over at Hubbard, I was like, yeah, I'll make sure I drop your name. Yeah. Ugh, gross.
Because you don't even know my name.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
Unbelievable.
Mr. Paps, because he's got Paps written on his shirt.
Yeah, there you go. Listen,
Rudy
Pabst, I was wondering if you could run downstairs for me. Because it does says Pabst right on his shirt.
Why didn't I think that should have been my stage name, Rudy Pabst? Pavich is so.
It's not too late.
No, you're right.
Did you ever use a fake name?
No,
I never did either.
I was never
Catman. I was Catman.
Well, yeah, you were famously Catman.
Yeah, that was Jim Chanel's fault, not mine.
I'm jealous because I love cats, so I wish I could be Catwoman without it being weird.
You be Catwoman now. Ladies and gentlemen,
I'm a crazy cat lady. We know that.
Crazy cat lady and Catwoman. We got both of you.
Yep.
I love it.
I always have a cat near me. Guaranteed.
All right, homie, another brilliant report, I thought.
Homie is out.
Bye, Kristyn. Great.
We got to hold on to
everyone.
that. Homie is out. We got to hold on to that audio right there. I love her. I know I say that every day, and I should stop saying it, but I do. I think she's just terrific, isn't she?
She's okay.
Oh, just okay? You're
I'm
just going with okay?
I adore her.
We got a little Chris Egert coming up in, about 1 minute, something like that. We've got to take a break. Be right back with Chris Egert right after this. This is Tom Barnard for Niemeyer Trailer Sales. They've been a part of Minnesota since 1965, and their name says it all. They are family. If you want to take your passion on the road and make memories camping wherever you want, no motors, but pull trailer RVs, go to Niemeyer Trailer Sales. True story. The very best brands live at Niemeyer's. Like the latest from Rockwood by Forest River, #1 in their class, whether you want a tent trailer, expandable, travel trailer, or a fifth wheel, Niemeyer Trailer Sales has it all. Plus, they deliver on the forgotten art of customer service with personable employees, often sons and daughters of the third-generation family-owned business who simply do what they say they will do every time. Come explore their huge selection and consult with RV service pros. You will leave satisfied no matter what you are looking for. The Niemeyer family welcomes you to visit both of their locations in Albertville and Elko New Market before your next vacation. Head to NIEMEYERS.com and put your passion on the road. Niemeyer Trailer Sales. You need to know a guy for your auto repairs, legal issues, banking, and more. The same goes for investment advice. You need a guy to help you be successful. Someone you can trust who gets results. Well, I got a guy for you, Josh Arnold. Josh gives you straight talk, not sugar-coated advice about your financial situation. Josh has seen it all when it comes to economic and market conditions, and Josh can make sure that your retirement objectives match your investments. Do yourself a favor and call Josh now for a no-obligation, 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll get a different point of view for your investments. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That is 952-925-5608. You'll be glad that you did. And tell him his guy, Tom, sent you.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. 8:23 right now, 23 minutes after 8 o'clock. 68 and sunny right now. Looks pretty nice today. Supposed to get up to like 85 and sunny later on today. Yes. I have something new that I have to do, so I have to sound very professional. Hold on one second. You ready? Mm-hmm. Ladies and gentlemen. No, I better not use that. It's too much echo. Okay. News brought to you by Mr. Money Talk. Josh Arnold. Call Josh for your free 48-minute financial evaluation. Josh Arnold bringing you Chris Egert. You got a sponsor now, Big Shot.
Oh, big deal, Chris.
Oh, I'm sponsored.
I had no idea. This happens to coincide with I am in a really big money point in my life right now. And by a big money point, I mean, I don't have enough.
We were talking about graduations and all that kind of stuff. Yep.
Yeah, we met with the financial aid yesterday, and I'm at the college, and I was like, oh, my dear God.
Oh, I remember those days. There's no I just love these people. At what the hell's I can't remember the name of the college, but the tuition last year was $77,000 a year. So this year it's even more.
Yeah.
77 grand a year to go. You know, for the one day I went to the University of Minnesota, I signed up for the entire quarter. I believe it was $900.
Wow.
I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
It was $900. Now it's thousands and tens of thousands of dollars.
Did you save your receipt for that? Maybe you could turn it in and get it first.
It was very expensive. $900 for one session, for 1 hour. That was
For
very
1 hour. Yeah, that was a very expensive hour.
You talk about not fitting in, man. Me at college, I do not fit into college. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
I loved college, but I
A
loved
lot of
it.
people did, yeah.
I loved it when I was older. So I went back
Oh, you did? I didn't know
last
that.
year, or like I started in 2021, going back. It's so fun when you can formally go to class, and that's the easiest part of your life. You go,
Yeah.
this structure, all the things, you just enjoy it on a different level.
You were GI Bill, right, Brittany?
Yeah. I had that was one of the big benefits is to use the Army with paying for it.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
What does GI stand for?
I have no idea.
Gastroenteritis pill.
I thought it was the girl's an imbecile. No, that's not it.
I have no
You
idea.
don't know what GI stands for?
No, and I've used
You're
it.
You're kidding me.
Yeah.
Wait, do you know what GI stands
Yes,
for?
I do.
Okay.
What the hell's wrong? I've never even been in the Army.
Galvanized iron.
No, it's not galvanized. Yes. A garage interlude. That's what
Ground
it is.
infantry.
Ground
There's
infantry.
General
There's another
issue.
one.
I don't know. What
Well,
does
you could
GI
track.
stand
No,
for?
you will have to track it down. Or I suppose the listeners could help you out with it.
No, you tell me.
I'm not going to tell you. Forget it.
I don't think you know.
I definitely know. It stands for, gosh, I'm sad. That's GIS. Never mind. No, you will remember what it is. Well, you know what it is because I've heard you say it before.
Government issued?
Well, I'm not going to tell
I'm
you.
like
You're getting
trying.
close.
I'm trying to think through
You're
what it
getting
could
very,
be.
very close.
Government initiative
Or
bill.
general something could be in. Anyway, we're boring the piss out of the audience.
Right?
with this,
I'm
so we'll
so
get back
sorry.
to them.
I don't know. I'm thoroughly enjoying this because I'm trying to think of what it is. I don't know what it is.
It's actually Geeks Incorporated. That's what it is.
That's why I get it.
It stands for I'm not paying for it, so thank you, government.
Yes, there you go. There you have it. The GI Bill, baby. That's exactly right. You've heard of the GI Bill, right? Well, she's not talking.
I use it. I thought you were asking
What are you
Rudy.
playing, Mousetrap over there? What the hell
I
are
know,
you
but
doing?
I was shocked that you were asking me because yes, I use the GI Bill. I get it.
I thought so, and you
Yeah.
don't even know what it stands for.
It's never affected the payments.
Yeah.
If that check didn't cash.
Well, as long as the cash comes in, I don't
Sure.
care what it stands for.
Is there a limit of time that you can use it, or can you pass it down to children or
I
something?
can't pass it down. No,
No, you can't pass it down.
Because I go to the VA. My kiddo can't even use the VA. There's a lot of
Sure.
things that are just my husband doesn't get most of my benefits at all, so or any of my benefits, or my kiddo.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I got to mention this quickly because supreme talent Cormac McCarthy died yesterday. 89 years old, Pulitzer Prize winning The Road and numerous other acclaimed novels, including Blood Meridian and All the Pretty Horses. All the Pretty Horses probably his most favorite, or famous, you think? The Road are All the Pretty Horses. Brilliant, brilliant writer. He passed away yesterday, unfortunately. But the age of 89, so that's a pretty good run, don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I love about really great authors? Almost every one of the great authors I've met have this scowl on their face like, oh, Christ. You know?
You
Yeah.
have to be super serious.
Because you got to be really serious. That's exactly right.
It's true.
I
You
did notice.
Oh.
I noticed that with all the pictures that were floating around of him today. Like
Yes.
he had this very stern.
That's exactly right. I love that. Oh, Brittany's doing a good one. She's got her
Yeah.
stern face. So, Cormac, God bless you. I loved reading your books, man. There's no doubt about that. Long time ago. So, as far as the news is concerned, we got anything we should be greatly concerned about?
Well, you're going to see smoke in the Twin
Yeah,
Cities today,
I saw
and
that.
if you head north, you're going to see like major smoke, like considered unhealthy for all people, not just people with pre-existing health conditions. So,
Really?
yeah, we've been taking some camera shots this morning from like in Tofty and Duluth, and we took them this morning from Mille Lacs, and the sun was up, and it was pointed off toward the sun, and it was completely filtered. Like,
Really?
yeah, so it's And that I think is going to be making its way down here, but I don't think it's going to get as bad down here as it is up north. So it's it's almost for them like what it was like in New York there.
Oh, really? It's going to be that bad?
I mean, same scale. Obviously, we don't have New York City sitting up there either, but.
Could you do me a favor and tell, thank God no Minnesota politician said this, but politicians nationally said this. This smoke is all caused by global warming. No, it's not.
Well, you knew that was going to,
Why are they allowed to say things like that? It's so ridiculous. Jesus, yeah, I don't want you driving some poison car or whatever. All of us, we all need to do a better job. But when are politicians going to learn to lie to people is not the way to get them to do? Well, maybe it is the way to get to do something because that's all they ever do is lie.
I can't disagree with you on
He was thinking it over. Well, it's true. Why would you say something like, yeah, let's make it worse than it actually is? Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Well, if you toe the line on the global warming thing, and a lot of politicians and a lot of activists and a lot of people do, and you certainly would see that this phenomenon of what's happening with the fires right now, of course they're going to use that as it just seems. Now, we could have a very long discussion and debate about the merits of said, that statement, which, I think you get as many scientists in who are going to tell you it's not global warming as you would who would say it is global warming. So,
you know what I would like if they're going to do that, they should also go the other side, because I bought one of the very first Teslas ever made in 2004 or 5, something like that.
Yeah.
I definitely had the first one in Minnesota. It was one of the first few that came off the line. I never had anybody call me going, hey, good move, Tom, an all-electric car. Way to go, man. Never heard from anybody in the government on that one. Couldn't they get anybody's vote by calling me?
You think they just have people calling you and congratulating you?
I have. This is my third electric. Well, they should congratulate me because I was 20 years ahead of them.
She got a call from Elon himself, man.
I should have gotten a call from Elon because the damn car had to turn it back in because it bricked. Some bitch.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, mine never did, but some of them did brick on the highway. And you cannot move them. Yeah,
and they had battery issues and stuff in some of those early models too, right?
Yeah, and what I'm saying obviously is, if you're going to take one side and blame it on, poisoning the air and all the rest of it, then maybe you should step up and say, hey, thanks for not poisoning the air.
Yep.
But they don't do that part, do they?
I got your point. No, of course. Of course we don't.
Disgusting.
Do they give you like a rebate or anything, like a tax credit for buying a vehicle that is all electric?
I don't know if they do now or not. I have no idea.
Some of that was going to expire, but there were a crap ton of, crap ton is an actual figure.
Crap ton, baby.
Yeah.
There was like a crap ton of incentives that they were giving out at certain points with those electric cars as they've been rolled out. But last thing I heard is they were rolling some of that back. So,
well, you know who would know? Doug Sprinthal, 952-600-2575. That's 952-600-2575. Doug Sprinthal, get off your ass and call in. How is the rebate looking? And where's mine? Although I didn't buy it, I leased it, so I don't get one. I don't.
Oh, sure.
How's your thing running? You
like I love it. It's incredibly fast. You know that they had to tune it back. Not the one I'm driving. I'm talking about the vehicles. It's them as they're coming off the line. Because some of the first ones they drove got up to 200 miles an hour. Electric vehicles are really fast. I will tell you that.
Yeah.
Holy Anna.
My new vehicle's a hybrid. And,
is it? Okay.
Yeah, and I was doing some research on it. I was listening to like a car and driver podcast the other day about all electric vehicles, and they were saying that some of the new Mustangs, before they had dialed it back, or when they was getting from 0 to 60 in like 2.1 seconds.
Yes.
Which is insane. There's so much torque. If you go and just go down the rabbit hole of YouTube videos, there are guys who bought Teslas and all electric vehicles who put their grandmothers in the passenger seat and put it on ludicrous speed and punch the gas and just watch their grandparents like
I would.
Your skin flies backwards. It's instant torque.
Hey, let me run this. I got to run these stats quickly. So now you drive a hybrid.
Mm-hmm.
My wife Catherine drives a hybrid. I drive an all-electric car. Who are the other two people on the show here? What do they drive, Rudy? Do you have any idea?
Friggin' gas guzzlers.
Is that what it is? Gas guzzlers.
I actually brought.
I have 3 gas guzzlers.
I drove in 2 Humvees 2 different times this morning just to make up for it.
Just to poison the air for Rudy and me and Catherine.
It's all about balance, right?
It is all about balance. Look, I've told you this before. When I built that house in Golden Valley all those years ago, we tried to get the solar panels on the roof. They wouldn't let us put them up on the roof. I tried to get a charging station. They wouldn't let me put that in either. So all these people who are now chirping to you about, oh, we need to stop poisoning. Where were you 20 years ago, 25 years ago, when Catherine and I were trying to do all these things and you wouldn't let us do any of them? Same people, right? But now there's money in it. Now there's money in it for them. Is that what this is all about?
Absolutely.
Seems like a likely scenario, yeah.
It is likely, isn't it?
Yeah.
So shut up, all of you, and get the hell out of the way. Anyway, back to some positive news now. Is there any positive news? He just goes, oh. Probably not, huh?
Yes, actually, yes, there is. There is, now this is Brittany's neck of the woods. You know the Aldi in Chanhassen?
Yeah.
Okay, so right next to the Chanhassen Dinner Theater.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We had a little bit on the news this morning about there's a little boy whose family is set up there raising money for I think cancer research because the little boy got sick when he was really young. And let me look for it. There's a name of what's the name of it? Alex's Lemonade Stand Foundation. Have you heard of that?
No.
It was a kid
Yep.
Who started this foundation at the national level. And so this family, what's his name, Telly, he was diagnosed with leukemia at 16 months old. So his family is camped out at the Chanhassen Aldi selling lemonade. And the Aldi's chipping in too, like giving some of the money of the proceeds from buying a bag of lemons to the foundation. So if somebody, it's a great thing. Lots of people are getting involved in it. So anybody's in the Chan area and you want to stop by Aldi and help them out, that would be a great idea.
You know what's so great about that? I did not know this at all. I won't even say where I was because whatever. But I was driving along and there were about 7, 8 young teens. They looked to be maybe anywhere from 10 to 13, 14 years old, something like that. And there were a bunch of them standing there, and they had flags talking about this, signs talking about this very thing. And I pulled over, and I handed them a $20 bill. You would have thought I gave them $1 million. It was so sweet. They were so grateful and happy, and it's $20. You know how great that is? That means that much to them. I love it.
They're like, this guy pulled up in a really sweet Mustang and he gave us $20 and then he took off and he was gone in like 2 seconds.
Well, the problem was it was monopoly money. So, it's not real 20, but yeah.
Hey, it's another life lesson for them to learn, man.
Yeah,
right?
There you go.
Check for counterfeit bills.
You kids, I know you're probably, you might be listening. I don't know, but whatever. But you were so sweet. And I mean, they were floored by that they were very proud of themselves for doing it, which they should have been, standing out there in the corner. So it was just a great experience. So do that. If you get a chance and you see kids like that, I don't care if you give them 50 cents. They're going to love it, and it's wonderful to see.
Yeah, I have a terrible, terrible guilt when I drive by one of those and I don't stop.
I know. I don't know how many times if I'm running, I'll be like, I'll be back. And then I'm like, but will I?
Yeah.
Because I never have cash.
Liar.
I'm always like, do you have Venmo? Like, I have my phone. I can No? Okay.
No, you know what she did, actually?
Bye.
She runs by and she gives them my phone number. That's what she does.
I hit.
Call Tom.
Here, this guy, he'll hook you up. He has a really
Tommy
fast car.
loves to give out money.
He'll be here so quick in his little Mustang. And then I take a drink like I'm in a marathon, like just grab it, down it, and throw it back in their faces.
Really nice. Really sweet. What a barn burner of a human being you are. Let me just throw that out there.
I found the girl's name of the lemonade stand is Alex.
Alex, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Very, very nice. I love seeing people do that kind of thing. And young people particularly, you guys were a joy to come in contact with, so thank you. All right, so everything else is good?
They may not raise interest rates today.
I thought they were going to lower them.
I don't know that they're going to lower them, but they're probably set to not raise them, which is good-ish, I guess.
Yeah, it's
right?
good news. There's no question. It's not going up. That's good.
Some inflation data came out yesterday. It was better than what they expected. I mean, everything's still ridiculously expensive, but gas prices are down 20%.
Yeah.
Airfare's down 13%. Food price still ridiculous, but eggs dropped off to a historical low because of the over just the course of the last couple months. So
people stopped eating eggs. Is that what you're saying?
Well, there was a huge. There was like this whole thing, and like it cost a ridiculous amount of money for a freaking carton of eggs, and so they're back to normal now.
Mm-hmm. So how are we doing with? I have to ask you a question because I know you only got a couple of minutes left here, and I did not read the story. I just looked at all the stats on it. It was on Channel 5, as a matter of fact. This morning I was watching. There's some hunyuck on there, Chris something. He's a news anchor on the Channel 5 in the morning. I can't remember his last name.
Yeah, he's probably a liar.
Chrissy something. Yeah, he's probably a liar. Would you please do the math for me on this? This feeding the family or whatever that thing was called?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Yeah. They stole $12 million, correct? 11.8, I think it was, is what you guys reported this morning.
That we said this morning.
I believe so. I think it's $11.8 million is missing.
Because there was one of the guys who pleaded guilty to it yesterday.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. So 12 million's missing. Just goes missing, right? And did you see what he had to pay back?
It wasn't that much.
$2 million. So where's the other 10 million in our tax money? This is our tax money, not yours. This is the taxpayers' tax money. Go get the other 10 million where the hell ever it is.
I'm trying to pull that story up so I can give you the exact numbers on it. Well, there's also a story that came out 2 or 3 days ago, I think maybe Sunday or Monday, that there was widespread fraud when it came to the COVID money.
Huge.
It was almost like everybody everywhere had their hands in it somehow. And then I'm so mad at myself not thinking that I wasn't smart enough to come up with some sort of scheme.
Yeah. It's not too late, Chris. Again, not too late.
I mean, it sounds like pretty much everybody in the United States was getting some kind. I mean, that's not true, but yeah, there's a big. What do they call it? The Great Grift.
The Great Grift. Yes.
Referring to it now. So.
Well, when are we going to stop letting people do this kind of thing? Like, I'll give you an example. How much was there? $19 billion in the Minnesota coffers, and we didn't get one dime of it back. They spent it all, plus another $50 billion they're going to spend. I mean, when is this going to stop?
And we did a story the other day too about a lot of the local municipalities are probably going to raise their sales tax.
Yes. Yep.
Some more too, because they've got St. Paul in particular, they're talking about an additional 1 cent sales tax on top of what was already in place, on top of whatever the state's doing now. So to try to redo the roads, and anybody who drives in St. Paul can see that there's obviously a need for the roads, but it goes back to the whole point. You see these fraud cases and you see the taxes go up and and you're like, well, where is all this going?
Right.
This is real money that's got to come from somewhere. And I don't know. It's mind-boggling, actually.
Look, we want to help people who need our help. But just because somebody claims they need help, we don't need to write them a check. How about that? That'd be good.
Yeah. And apparently they were using dead people,
they were. Yep.
To get some of this COVID money. And here I got this story pulled up. Admitted to lying about providing more than 3.5 million meals to children across the state. Yeah, so he received nearly $12 million in federal funds.
How do you not know the 3.5 million meals weren't made?
And the whole thing was $250 million for that Feeding Our Future. So that's a crazy amount of money.
And it's all gone, right?
Well, who knows where it is, right? You got to assume they probably stuck some of it offshore. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a money launderer, but I watch Ozark, and I think there are ways that you can, put your money in places, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, and he pleaded guilty to wire fraud, agreed to pay more than $2 million.
$2 million out of the 12 million. Oh boy. Mm-hmm. I tell you what, you give me 12 million, I'll give you 2 million back the second you give me the 12 million. How about that?
Yeah. $250 million.
$250 million just gone. Billions of dollars are missing in America because they've been given to charity, and the charities never got the money. Because
that's why people are. I mean, that's why people are leery of. When you hear these deals and, we passed the budget and this and that. I mean, of course, people are leery of it. With this, this is a perfect example.
Yeah, I was talking to Brittany off air before the show a couple of days ago, and we were talking about how when you go to a Dick's Sporting Goods or you go and they go, hey, would you like to donate $1 to underprivileged kids in sports programs? If you give that $1, Dick's Sporting Goods doesn't take that $1 and then just donate it. Here you go, just here's some money. They write that off on their taxes so that they can get less money. And
with your money.
Yes, with your money that you donate. I was like, then just go over to the Little League stand and just hand somebody $1 and be like, well, here you go. I was going to give it to, I love Dick's Sporting Goods, and it's another, loophole that everybody can just make a couple extra bucks on. But it's so true that any which way they can try to make $1 is how they're going to do it.
Yep. Anything for money. They will do anything for money. It's disgusting. And by the way, I just bought a new pair of shoes at Dick's about 3 days ago.
How they feel?
I haven't worn them yet because they're to play pickleball. Catherine's trying to talk me into playing pickleball.
Oh, it's going to happen, huh?
What do you think?
It's addicting.
It is, okay. Rudy, your vote?
I have not played it yet. I've been trying to get my daughter to play it, but I get the allure of it for sure.
You know what really sucks? What really sucks is when you're a grown man and your wife's a better athlete than you are. That really sucks.
I'm way better at when my husband had pickleball. And
there you go.
It's funny because my mom is an ex-gym teacher. And so when we're at the cabin, because we have my parents built a pickleball court, he just constantly gets yelled at. Out of the kitchen! You can't hit that! And Justin's just like, he doesn't know where to stand. And then our whole family is just aggressively playing. It's so fun.
I know we got to go, but close with Catherine. Goes trap shooting once in a while.
Damn, that's hot.
Maybe misses one or two and hits every one of them. It's unbelievable.
She's got to come up north and we'll play Annie Oakley.
She honest to God she's a hell of an athlete. She was a sprinter and all that stuff when she was a kid, I guess.
Yeah.
Hell of a talent.
Trap shooting is super fun.
She really sucks at picking husbands, though. It's the one thing.
Terrible.
She's terrible at that.
I'll be on that. That's for sure.
You know what, though? You're just her first. We'll see what she averages out with.
We'll see what happens after this. You'll be dying soon, Tom, so then.
She'll make up for it with the second.
All right, Chris, we will talk to you tomorrow, young man.
Okay, you guys. Have a good rest of your day.
You too. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Egert coming to you. News brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh for your free 48-minute financial evaluation. It's a great idea. In any case, we'll take a break. Be right back. Another special guest, Melissa and Navia, coming up in just a couple of minutes. I'm just now at the end of my 60 days. I said 60 days. Did you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. I'm glad you heard me. Weight loss program with mnfatloss.com. I've lost over 25 pounds. I feel fantastic. Getting around is just a lot easier. My clothes fit better. There just really isn't a downside to losing the weight. Now we'll be going into the maintenance phase of the mnfatloss.com program. It's terrific. The whole thing is. Adding in a few. I wish she would not slam the door right in the middle. Every commercial I read, she slams the door. Have you noticed that?
I have noticed that.
She's a disaster. Anyway, I've loved the program so much that I'm planning to go back to the weight loss program with the goal of losing another 25 or so, maybe even 30. We shall see. It's very easy to do, though, and maintaining the weight's been great, by the way. You will absolutely be able to lose the weight like I've done and still enjoy the foods you love this summer. That's a huge part for me. If you want to find out the secret to losing 20 to 30 pounds in just 8 weeks, just like I'm doing, that's about a pound of fat every day. No exercise required. To schedule your free consultation, go to mnfatloss.com. That's mnfatloss.com. Results may vary. Be sure to tell the team at mnfatloss.com that Tom Barnard sent you.
What can Hubbard Interactive do for your business? Let's take a listen and find out what they did for one local company, Steve the Window Guy.
I'm Sally, and I'm a digital brand strategist here at Hubbard Interactive. We met with Melissa from Steve the Window Guy, and she was looking for help with their video advertising strategy. So we helped build a comprehensive plan for streaming TV and YouTube ads.
And Melissa, tell us how it's been getting your message out with help from Hubbard Interactive.
I've been working with them for 5 years, and what I've learned is that they have both the experience and the depth inside their team to help me solve any creative creative marketing challenge that I've got. So over the years, I've moved from radio ads to streaming TV to YouTube ads, and now we're moving towards SEO. And I'm loving the results that I'm seeing.
Is there anything else you want business owners out there to know about Hubbard Interactive?
I am so grateful for the entire team at Hubbard Interactive for effortlessly understanding our business and our marketing vision, and then always delivering only the best results.
To find out how our experts can help your business grow, get in touch today at hubbardinteractive.com.
Ready, set, summer. Hi, Judd Zulgad here. You know, the unofficial start of summer, well, it's here. Whether you're heading to the beach, the ballpark, or a barbecue, summer's more fun when you are feeling your best. Let Livia Weight Control Centers help you make the most of our beautiful summer days. Join Livia's doctor-recommended program today and get 8 weeks free. That's right, 8 weeks for free. You could lose up to 15 pounds or more by the 4th of July. I lost 40 pounds on this program a couple of years back, and I'm going to tell you the most important thing. The dietitians and nutritionists at Livia are going to help you maintain weight loss. We've all lost weight, right? Inevitably, it feels like it comes back. Not with this program. It has done right by me, and I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to do right by you. Summertime is here, and Livia wants you to make the most of it. Call 855-GO-LIVEA or visit LiviaLIVEA.com. Join today and get 8 weeks for free. Again, 15 pounds or more lost by the 4th of July. Are you kidding me? Call 855-GO-LIVEA. Livia voted Minnesota's best weight loss program 2 years in a row. Check them out to lose the weight.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Rudy and I voted that you can't use the bathroom while I'm reading commercials anymore.
Why?
Because you slam the door every time you go out.
Oh, I was scared to use the handle because I didn't know if he fixed it.
So it's better to destroy the commercial.
Destroy it?
Destroyed. It's a disaster.
I feel like it adds layers.
Oh, it's layers? Okay.
It's layers.
As long as it's adding layers, that's
textured.
fine. All right, little weather here, ladies and gentlemen. Today, hot and dry with hazy sun, a high of 89. Thursday, warm and partly sunny, a high of 85. On Friday, mostly sunny and warm with a high of 86. I go out 3 days, that's enough, because they say, oh, this is going to happen. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, you can't go that far.
No, 3 days enough. Yeah, so 89, 85, 86, hot and dry, looking good, mostly sunny and warm. It is sunny and 69 right now. So let me know when Melissa's ready to go.
She's ready to go.
Melissa Navia, how you doing, Melissa?
How's it going?
Well, it's going to be 89 and sunny here today, Melissa. Where are you from originally?
New York.
Okay, so you understand cold weather.
Yes, I understand cold weather, but 89 to me sounds wonderful. I don't know how it sounds to you.
Well, no, it sounds great.
Right now.
Melissa, you ever been to Minneapolis, St. Paul?
I have not, no. I think I might have been in the airport.
Yeah, maybe in the airport. But, yeah, if you ever come here, do not come here in the winter because it's about 7,000 below zero.
Good to know. Good to know.
It's really cold. Paramount's massively successful. And by the way, I'm just reading what it says here, Melissa. Paramount's massively successful Star Trek Strange Worlds out on Paramount Thursday, June 15th for season 2. Massively successful, Melissa. Is that because of you?
You know what? It might be. I'm a very big thing. But I am a little cog in this crazy machine. And season one was a hit, and fans said it was everything they wanted and more. And so we were like, cool, let's do that again. And so we have season 2 coming up, and I keep telling everybody it's more of everything that you loved from season 1, and things that you didn't even know you wanted are coming your way.
It's pretty amazing. Melissa plays Lieutenant Erica Ortegas, one of the only wholly original characters on the series, which takes place on the USS Enterprise, roughly a decade before the events of the original Star Trek series. So you don't even get to say, Spock, check the engine. You don't get to say that at all ever, because he's not even around yet.
No, he is.
Oh, is he? Oh, God, see, I literally just started watching the show, so I got to pay attention.
Yeah, so that's the cool thing, is that it takes place before, Captain Kirk takes over the Enterprise. But you have legacy characters like Spock and Uhura who are there, and then number 1, who was a character in the original pilot of Star Trek. And so the cool thing is that we have characters that fans already know and love, and then you bring in characters like Ortegas that fans have never met before, but they're going to get to see them interact with fans who are from canon and who we know what's going to happen to them to a certain extent. So the show just has this really perfect formula of nostalgia and also who knows what we're going to do. And that seems to really be working. And Ortegas is actually, even though she's original, there was a character that Gene Roddenberry, the creator of Star Trek, had originally envisioned for Star Trek, and his name was Jose Ortegas, and he never made it to screen. It became like Jose Tyler, which is a totally different character.
Yes, it is.
You know, like they were like, no, let's not go that route. And so I feel like, in a way, you know, my job has been decades in the making. You know, in the 60s, like, my job began, and then it's just been waiting for someone like me to show up and give it life. And it's also now Erica. So I'm like, that works for me.
Indeed, Melissa and Navia with us, ladies and gentlemen, talking about Paramount's massively successful Star Trek Strange New Worlds, out on Paramount Thursday, June 15th for season 2. That it would be tomorrow, of course. Melissa, I'm one of those people I'm about to talk about here. I was a teenage boy when Star Trek first hit, the television series first hit. I have been a huge fan. What is it about Star Trek that just reels people in? Because I do love that show. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, and as an actor and someone who has joined this franchise, it's so crazy that there's not one person that you meet that does not know Star Trek. Like, of course, going into it, you know, I knew that was going to be the case. I grew up, you know, watching The Next Generation. But there would be people that I'd speak to, and they'd be like, oh, you know, what is this new role you got? And I'd say, oh, Star Trek Strange New Worlds, you know, our captain is Christopher Pike. And then people who I had no idea had any sort of, you know, knowledge of you know, really the Star Trek canon would be like, oh, yes, Captain Pike, who was captain of the Enterprise before Kirk, and then this happened, that happened. I'm like, how do you know all this? And everybody just has some connection in some way. And so the question then is, you know, what is Star Trek doing that works so well? I think it's that it envisions a future that is hopeful, as opposed to a dystopian future, which I think we have a lot of shows and movies,
yes,
you know, love to give us. And I get it. You know, when everything's falling apart, like, let's see how much it can fall apart, when it feels like everything's falling apart. But what Star Trek tells us is that if we work together, and when we work together, you know, we can overcome adversity. And if we want to actually envision a world where space travel is a reality, that needs to happen. And so another cool aspect of being a Star Trek actor is you start to really also, you know, speak frequently to astronauts and scientists and people who are actually, you know, getting us to the moon again very soon and working on getting us to Mars. And so I hear from you know, all these people who I'm in awe of saying the reason that I am in the field I now am in is because of Star Trek. Because, you know, when I was a child, when I was whatever age, I saw a future that I wanted to be a part of. And now, you know, I met a team from MIT the other day who are working to build the habitats that will one day live on Mars. And you know, the person I was speaking to was just like, this all started with Star Trek for me. And I'm like, that's awesome. And so that's no small thing. And so I just keep going back to that Star Trek is hope. And that's not a naive idea, right? Because even right now with space travel, like, the only way we're going to continue to move forward in that direction is if countries, if thinkers, if people, you know, from different backgrounds and who have different resources work together. And the other thing too is, you know, when people are like, oh, you know, why are we focusing on space travel when there's so many issues on the Earth? Everyone I've spoken to is wants me to remind the public that that when we do things for space travel, when we're solving problems to get to places like the moon and Mars, we're also solving problems here on Earth. So really, it's very symbiotic, and that to me is Star Trek. You know, it's just show that we're watching for entertainment that, you know, we like to come back to every week and see a new adventure, a new monster. But it also really feeds back into so much about what makes us tick and what makes our lives kind of make sense. And I think that's why Star Trek just has this enduring power that we have now added this new level to with Strange New Worlds.
Do you think Gene Roddenberry, he was brilliant in the fact that he developed this story, but I don't care who you are, there's somebody on Star Trek that reminds you of yourself. I don't care if it's Scotty or if it's Uhura or if it's Spock or whatever it is. He created so many different kinds of characters on that one ship. What a brilliant move that was. Yeah, you nailed it on the head there. This idea that when we're looking at the crew of a starship and we're looking at the bridge, you know, where we
we are when we're, going into battle and we're trying to do something crazy. And as the helmsman of the ship, I'm constantly in the position where Captain Pike is like, we're going to do this insane thing, and it may or may not work, but you're going to have to pull it off. And when you look at the bridge, like, it really should reflect the world, right? Especially if we're thinking about space travel and all of our thinkers and all of our astronauts and our scientists and so many different professions, too, that nobody ever thinks about when they think about space travel. But all these professions from around the world are going to be needed to make space travel possible. And that takes a world. And so when we look at the Enterprise, we really should see the world reflected back to us. And especially, too, because our fans are from everywhere and every age, which is such a cool thing. I don't know if there's many shows that can say that we have fans who are 5 years old and we have fans that are 85 years old, and that's incredible. And so, but yeah, you said it exactly. What you can see yourself on the Enterprise, and that's a wonderful thing. And I've had people who have told me that they've been watching Star Trek since TOS, since the original series, and it's why they now do what they do in engineering, in whatever field they're in. But then they say that the first time they've seen themselves is in Ortegas. And so the fact that you could be watching a show for, since the 60s, and, you see many people who are like you, but then you see my character and, here's someone who we still have not yet seen. That's just like, we're doing something right. I'm just going to work every day and I'm doing my best to bring a character to life that people, like and want to see more of. But to hear from people that, I see myself, I want to now be a pilot. I'm getting all these people who are like, we're becoming pilots because of Ortegas. And I'm like, awesome. So I'm also getting my pilot's license because I feel now that, I'm slacking if I don't. I have all these fans who are taking to the skies. So I am trying as Melissa to do the same.
All right, Melissa, we need you to come into the studio one of these days because 8 minutes is not long enough. I'm just telling you.
Oh, I'd love to. I will come out to you. 89-degree weather is right up my alley.
Melissa, we'll close with this. This is something that every Star Trek fan knows or should know. If your name is not in the opening credits and you beam down, you ain't coming back.
I know. My mother the other day was looking at our new Strange New World Season 2 poster. And I'm like, Mom, what do you think? And she just goes, she's like, I read somewhere. She's always reading all the everything about Star Trek. She's like, I read somewhere that if you have a red shirt, you could be in trouble. Is this true?
It is true.
And I'm like, Mom, that's a very long conversation. I'm like, statistically, I don't think it's actually worse for red shirts, but it's a whole thing, and I don't have time to get into this. And don't worry, I'm going to be okay for a little bit at least. But yeah, so now everyone has my mother concerned that something's going to happen to me. So
I'm telling you.
See what happens to Ortegas in season 2.
All right, we'll watch your back, Melissa. Thank you very much for being with us. Please do come back soon. You do a great interview. Thank you.
Absolutely, I'd love to.
Thanks. Bye. Melissa Navia, ladies and gentlemen. Paramount's massively successful Star Trek Strange New Worlds out on Paramount. Tomorrow, season 2. I love guests like that are just so into it. They're just really, really good.
Passionate. It was
very passionate.
I love that she's so excited about her project.
I think it's terrific. I mean, she's no Judd Zulgad, but, she's no Tevin Pittman. But other than that.
Well,
far better.
Fun fact, I've never seen Star Trek and or Star Wars.
Neither one?
No.
Not your deal?
No, never got into
the
it.
Star Trek I can see because it's not really your thing, but Star Wars is around. Like, that transcends. It's everything. I mean, nothing? Not even an episode? Or
No, not I don't think I've even seen like 5 minutes. Outside of maybe a clip or something like that.
Is it because of that kissing scene between Captain Kirk and Uhura?
I have no idea what
you're talking
It's
about. Very controversial
Black woman
at the
making out with a
time.
white guy.
Oh, okay.
You turn your back on him.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess I'll take responsibility for the Star Wars writing, I guess.
Star Trek.
Or Star Trek, see?
I'm not kidding you. If your name's not in the credits and you beam down in that first scene, you ain't going to live much longer.
You would think that they would know people are going to pick up on that.
Yeah,
and that kind of ruins
so,
the plot of the movie.
I'm telling you, I don't know how you didn't see at least one Star Trek episode. They were always on TV, especially if you had
is Star Trek the one with Scotty where he goes, beam me up? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was, they'd play it at night at random. We only had 4 channels or whatever, and they always had it on at night. It was 2 episodes back to back. And they were always good. They were always so fun and good. Star Trek is so good. Whatever.
Tevin's too young, though.
Yeah, he is
He's
too
not
young.
that much younger than me, you guys.
He didn't I guarantee you, he does not know a world with 4 channels, Brittany.
I did the closest thing I got to that was my great uncle had this old school black and white TV with like the knobs on it, and I remember I was probably in like 5th grade watching the Wild playoffs. It's probably like one of the first years they made the playoffs on that TV in my room because it was the only one my parents let me have because it had like 2 channels on it.
I'm trying to think. I mean, we had like more than 4, but it was like 2, 4, 5, like 11, 20 to 3, and 29.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 9 and 11. Yeah, and that was it. So I don't want to make myself sound ancient, being like, where was 4 options we had?
UHF, you sound ancient.
Yeah, VHF and UHF, baby.
Yep.
That's all I got to say. In any case, she was terrific. What a great guest.
Oh,
Very
great.
enthusiastic.
So excited.
Right away when she got on the air, I thought, she's probably done like 30 of these today. She's probably tired, doesn't want to hang out. Probably just thinks like, oh, who are these, yo-hos from Minnesota?
Right.
Fine,
Yep.
whatever. And then, man, she blasted off. I mean, no
She-
pun intended, but she was great.
She's one of those people you can tell appreciates where they are at right now and has so much love for the fans for getting her there. You can tell she interacts.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that is so cool that when you know that somebody like that has made it to that level.
My favorite drop from Star Trek is they're recording Captain Kirk, and he keeps saying, Spock, sabotage the system. Sabotage the system, Spock. And they said, excuse me, sir, that's sabotage. And there's a long pause, and he goes, you say sabotage. I say sabotage.
Do you ever find yourself in one of those moods where you've decided to like die on some hill?
Yeah.
And you're like, I wish I could take this back.
I know. I did it last night with Wayne Newton. I brought up Wayne Newton. People were like, who's Wayne Newton? I was like, you don't know. I said, you don't know Wayne Newton? That's
gotta know Wayne
ridiculous.
Newton.
And they said, no, we don't know who that is. And then somebody got all indictive. They were like, name one of his songs. I was like, shut your face.
I don't need.
Shut up.
Not from you.
Donkashane. You got to go with Donkashane.
No, I know. It's like.
I hate when people do that. Like, you see a kid, he's got a Motley Crue shirt on. You're like, name one of the albums. It's like, just let the kid wear the stupid shirt.
I
you
know.
dicks. Oh,
I like doing that for things that have like they're not a band. You know, it's like if they're wearing a shirt that says like Toyota, it's like name one of their songs.
Now I'm going to go and listen to Donkashane in the car all day long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's somebody told me he's broke now. A friend of mine that lives out in Vegas, he said that he's broke.
He still has the Wayne Newton Theater at the Flamingo.
Yeah, but he doesn't own that, though, does he?
I don't think he owns it, but I believe he still does shows out there. And yeah.
Name 3 of the last shows he's done out there.
He's done the Wayne Newton Variety Show.
Yes.
There's the Wayne Newton Sing-Along, and of course the Wayne Newton Standards. Duh.
Love it. I absolutely love it.
Donkashane, bitch. We all have that now in our pocket.
My brother-in-law, Patrick O'Brien, I will never forget. Now, first of all, Patrick, his father was an FBI agent, Irish guy, and his mother was this wonderful Puerto Rican woman. Tommy O'Brien, still his younger brother, one of my best friends in the world. Pat O'Brien, he's my brother-in-law. He's like 9 years older than me. He's married to my sister Bobby back in the day. He's no longer with us, unfortunately. And I hear him trying to sing Donkashane one day. He was not a good singer, first of all, and for some reason he was singing, Duncan Tug, darling Duncan Tug. Thank Day? What does Thank Day even mean?
Remix.
Where'd you come up with that?
Yeah.
Thank Day. Okay, whatever, Pat.
How do you lose Donkashane there? Like, I get a lot of words and songs, right, can be misinterpreted and misconstrued.
Sure.
Donkashane is a hard one not to hear.
I agree, but Pat was one of those guys. I loved that man. He was a great guy. But in any case, what are you going to do? So Judd, big win last night. That was a come from behinder.
That's what you expect from a shortstop who makes $30+ million per season, right, Tom Barnard? That's what you expect. You know, it's so funny. Now I get these notes when Correa does something good now about, you see he's going to be fine. I said, it's great. This is what we should expect all along. This is what we should expect now. So, yeah. In fact, the guy that they came back against last night, Devin Williams, who is the Brewers closer, I think he'd given up 1 run all season. He didn't retire a batter. Full credit. full credit there. Nice win.
It was indeed a nice win, Milwaukee Brewers, ladies and gentlemen. So we've got a 10 game homestand here.
Yeah, well, they've got what 2 against Milwaukee because they wrap it up today with an afternoon game, and then Detroit comes in for 4, and that should be a real opportunity to get solidly above 500 and then stay there. I just want this team, Tom, not to drive us crazy.
That would be very nice.
That's all we ask for, right? We're not asking for greatness. Just, damn it, don't drive us absolutely up the wall. Score some runs consistently. It's not that much to ask.
No, I agree with you completely. It just, I do love my Twins, and it's nice that they were down, 5-2 in the 9th? Is that not right?
I think it was 5-2. I think the Twins had added on a run.
So 5-3 maybe?
Yeah. But the thing is, the first run that got them back in the rally was a home run by Michael A. Taylor.
Yeah.
Who I think has been absolutely outstanding since Buxton's hurt now, but he clearly, as we talked about before, wasn't playing center field previously. But this guy he is exactly the type of guy they should have had for years backing up Buxton, because he's great in the outfield, and he's not a great hitter, but he's got some pop, and he doesn't embarrass you.
No, I agree. He's not a good hitter. Well, he's certainly not a great hitter. Maybe he wouldn't even be a good hitter. He'd be an okay hitter, but he's one hell of a defensive star out there in center field. There's no question about that. It just made me happy to see them come from behind. They should not have lost that game, and they didn't, so that's good.
Yeah, and Sunday, I felt so good, right? They went into Toronto after being swept by Tampa, and Tampa's great, but they went into Toronto, won on Friday, won on Saturday with a really impressive late offensive outburst. And then Sunday, if I'm not mistaken, they're up 6-1.
Mm-hmm.
And they blow that game.
It was just painful as hell. And that was all Pagan, man.
Oh, God. Why is he here?
I don't know.
Can somebody explain this? And I'm sick of hearing, he had pitched. When he pitches with no pressure, he is actually fine. But you know what? Baseball's meant to have pressure. You know?
I agree. That's the game.
That's what drives me crazy.
Yep.
Why is he here? And what also drove me nuts on Sunday was this. So Duran, who is just, lights out, right, for the bullpen, he pitched 2 innings on Friday. So he didn't pitch Saturday, which is absolutely fine. Totally get that. In the 8th inning on Sunday, then they're blowing the lead. So it's in progress. Like, you can see the meltdown coming, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they still won't pitch him and then they were off on Monday. And were they assuming that he was going to pitch on Tuesday? Because he didn't. Why didn't you just bring in Duran in the 8th and nail down that win? Because I guarantee you he does not melt down and give up a home run to Calvin Biggio like Pagan did.
Yeah, I agree.
If he's pitching. So.
Yep. That was hard to watch. There's no question about it. Is a lot of that's got to be on the manager, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. No question about it.
No question about it.
Like, it's in progress game stuff. So, yes, it is. He cannot be absolved. Now, do I think that he does all of that by himself? No. I think that they meet before. But whatever. Yes, it's on him. Here's the thing I didn't get last night that still confuses me. Don't mean to bitch much, but I will. Why did they?
Well, that's nice.
Why did they pinch hit? And I know it's lefty, righty, blah, blah, blah. But they pinch hit for Royce Lewis with Max Kepler, who did draw a walk.
Ooh.
But Royce Lewis is going to be one of your foundational pieces.
Yes, sir.
Like he's not just, he's a nice little player, but he can't handle this situation. He's gotten several clutch hits. Wouldn't you want him? Like, there are certain guys that I would leave alone. Kirilloff, Royce Lewis, and Rocco pinch hits for them like they are like they're Larry Wolf.
I know. I don't get it. I don't understand any of it, but I'll stay with them. I've been a fan since I was 9 years old. They piss me off and some of the things they do, but then again, they come back with a game like last night and go, well, that's why I'm a Twins fan right there.
Minnesota sports, as I'm sure Tevin can attest to, they suck you back in. They're like a horror film.
Yeah. No, it's just enough hope where you're like, this time's different. Like, this time's going to be different. This is the one, and then it's same story. Just we found a different way to get there.
It's just so frustrating. Well, look, I get to watch some guy that lives in South Dakota won the NBA championship, and then the hockey was won by not Minnesota. No. We can't win a Stanley Cup in Minnesota. Got to win one in Vegas. What the hell is that?
Well, the best part about Jokic winning, because he's from Serbia, and so after the game, they're like, oh, what are you going to do now? And he's like, well, we get to go home now. He's like, I get to go back. I get to go home. He's like, the job's done. I get to go back home. They're like, well, the parade's on Thursday, and he just lets out this disgust, like, ugh, fine, I'll stay till Thursday, but then I'm going back home.
I'm leaving, man.
Yeah, they told him you have to stay. It was great. He's like, when's the parade? They're like, Thursday. And he, like, looks at them like he wants to puke, and they're like, you have to stay. And he's like, oh, it was hilarious.
That's a tough road to hoe, man. That the fact that the North Stars have never won a Stanley Cup, it just the Twins won 2 World Series. Vikings have never won never even come close to winning a Super Bowl. They got blown out in all 4 games, basically. I guess Pittsburgh was a little close for a while, or about a minute. First half, I guess they were close, but seriously, the fact that we have never won a Stanley Cup is really, really a big, because at least the Minneapolis Lakers won titles. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So,
and then we have the audacity to call Minnesota the state of hockey.
I know, the state of hockey.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I guess it has the high school in
the greatest marketing slogan of all time. Oh, it's one of the great marketing slogans. And you're right, though. It means absolutely nothing because we have no Stanley Cups. The North Stars went to 2. The Wild's been to 0. I think they're at about a combined 49 years of existence now. It is incredible. So, Tom, I got a Vikings question, a Vikings Super Bowl question, because I didn't start to watch them really religiously until 78. So I missed the 4. How did the town and how did you take it when they lost Super Bowls? Because I've seen all of the conference championship games, which have been devastating, wide kicks and stuff. But how did the town in the 70s take it when they lost the Super Bowl?
It was not good, I will tell you, particularly in my situation. I was in my, mid-20s pretty much watching this team. So all my friends are in their mid-20s, late 20s, something like that. There were people that wouldn't return my calls for about a week after the Vikings lost. And it wasn't just me. They didn't want to talk to anybody. They didn't want to talk at all. It's like, if you call me, you're going to talk about the Vikings, and I don't want to talk about the Vikings, so I'm not going to call you back.
It's real. Like when I was in high school, and the Vikings, we lost the Brett Favre across the body to the Saints game, and I would show up to school, hoodie, sweatpants, hood up. Like, teachers wouldn't call on me because we know Tevin is in a bad mood. He does not want to talk to anybody right now. So, no, I get it.
Well, so it should be. We have to take a break. Be right back in just a couple of minutes. What I'm going to do, because you're going to be doing a live spot here, Judd. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to play the part of Brittany, and right in the middle of the spot, I'm going to go slam the door, which she does every live spot I read. So now I'm going to do it to her. What do you think?
I think that's absolutely fine.
I'm going to go out.
I will power through it when you slam that door.
You can't do that because I don't know what it's like to have a live spot.
Well, I thought you introed the live spot.
Yeah.
Well, wait a second. I want to slam it while you're introing it, so hold off a second.
Those intros are gold, and people want to hear them, so you're going to have a lot of people writing them.
All right, I'll sneak out. Tanked. I won't make any noise at all.
I sort of like it. Out. Just go slam that thing while
I'm fine with that.
Babbling on. Just go bang.
In any case, we will be right back.
This is the Tom Barnard Morning Show. Listen live at tombernardshow.com or on the Tom Barnard Show app.
There's a guy named Tom Cross who likes to do kite things. Tom takes the phrase, go fly a kite, to an extreme, and for years goes all over the country in search of great kite flying events. Lincoln City, Oregon comes to mind, with Chinook winds and 7 miles of pristine beach that draws folks from all over North America for the best kite flying conditions in the world. Tom brings a little Minnesota with him when he goes to Lincoln City in his new 2109S Rockwood Mini Light travel trailer. The new lightweights from Rockwood are very popular. Tom hauls his trailer from Niemeyer Trailer Sales in Albertville and Elko New Market, Minnesota. Niemeyer Trailer Sales is the only place Tom would prepare his next kite flight. Solar panels, exterior griddle, air conditioning are just a few of the standard features in his Rockwood by Forest River, from the place that is your ultimate RV headquarters since 1965. This is Tom Barnard. Visit my friends at Niemeyer Trailer Sales and take your passion on the road. Niemeyer Trailer Sales. Go to NIEMEYERS.com. Niemeyer Trailer Sales.
This is Bob Sansevier, and I want to tell you about Dave Bialke from Bialke Law. Dave represented my wife, Mary, when she had a significant workplace injury. She was very happy with the job Dave did. If you have a work-related injury and have Dave represent you, I'm betting you'll be happy too. Dave is a down-to-earth guy. He grew up in northern Minnesota, rides a Harley, and worked various jobs doing concrete, electrical, plumbing, roofing, and carpentry work. Dave works for people with work-related injuries. If you work construction, or anywhere for that matter, and you're hurt or even just hurting, you should talk to Dave. Let's face it, our bodies wear out. If your body is worn out from work, if your knees or back or shoulders hurt from things you do at work, do what Mary did. Call Dave and talk to him about it at Bialke Law to set up a free initial consultation. The number to call is 763-571-2410. That's 763-571-2410. Or visit BialkeLaw.com. That's BIALKE Law.com.
All right, Judd, you might find yourself enjoying the Twins winning, but you, my friend, are losing. Am I right?
You are exactly right, and that's thanks to my friends at Livia Weight Control Centers. Brittany, that was a perfect setup, and thank you for allowing me to talk about my friends, because they allowed me to lose 40 pounds a couple of years ago, and the most important thing is to maintain that weight loss, correct? Well, Livia is going to help you do exactly that, and right now, special offer, 8 weeks for free. That's right, 8 weeks for free. So we're talking about dropping 15 to 20 pounds for free, seeing what that is like, and then maintaining the weight loss. 855-GO LIVEA, Livia.com, LIVEA.com. Look good and feel good as summer arrives.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen.
Tom just looks
I was toying around with my coworkers, and they've lost it.
We are back, and it is going to be wonderful.
It's going to be wonderful. There's no question.
It's like all of a sudden, should we check if he's a robot? Like, who just came back in the studio?
We're great. Everything's wonderful. Don't worry about a thing. In any case, so we've talked a little Twins. The Twins are in first. But what's their lead now, Judd?
Are they up by 2.5 now?
Is it 2.5?
I
didn't check. It's either 1.5 or 2.5.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure. I got to run something by you guys I'll wait because I want him to be involved in this as well. I think it's 2.5, but I'm not sure.
I'm looking it up right this second. I have, 2.5 on Cleveland, 5.5 on the White Sox.
So Cleveland hanging in there. Cleveland's not that good a team either, so for them to be only 2.5 behind us is not good.
They weren't last year, too, and they won the division.
Yep.
They are, I think Terry Francona is one of the geniuses as far as his, he melds the old school stuff so well. But yeah, Cleveland will consistently, I think, be, if nothing else, a pain in the ass. And the White Sox might be too, but they're really talented, but they're a really stupid baseball team. They are stupid. They are a stupid baseball team. If you wanna watch stupid baseball, watch the White Sox. Talk about tearing your hair out.
Well, I do understand. I do understand what you're saying. There's no question about that. In any case, so we've covered your Minnesota Twins or 2.5. Oh, I want to run this by you guys because I have not looked at this yet. But I want everybody to guess. There are 5 of us on the air right now, and we'll start with Tevin, and we'll go around the circle like that. So it'll be Tevin, then it'll be Judd, and then it'll be Rudy, and then it'll be Brittany, and then it'll be me.
Got it.
Okay. This is America's friendliest LGBTQ plus city.
Guess the city. So okay, you want us to guess the city?
Guess the city.
Guess the city.
I'm going to say San Francisco.
Okay, Tevin's going San Fran. Okay, next in line would be Judd.
I'm going to guess it is Seattle.
Oh, Seattle's a good guess. All right, Rudy, what do you got?
Well, I'm going to rule out Weir, Mississippi.
Yeah, probably a good move.
You're not going to go with the South, Rudy?
No.
Well, wait a minute. You got one thing I got to straighten out. Not all of these LGBTQ people in Mississippi are black, though. So they don't do that well in that area either.
No.
If you know what I'm saying.
I bet it's going to be a place that we don't necessarily think of. That's just kind of out of the beaten path. But I'm going to say Oklahoma City.
OKC. Okay. See, I think you've got a point, by the way, because I don't know if they'd have published this, because I'm going to guess San Francisco too. But Tevin and I got that one. What do you got?
I'm going Austin, Texas, sir.
Oh, good
Did
one.
you look it up?
No.
Liar, you looked it up.
No, not at all.
You just ruined the whole show.
I'm looking at AbFab
Like
right
every
now
other
still.
day.
Just unbelievable.
All right.
Slam the door again.
I'm going to click on it. So we got.
Oh, you don't
Kevin's
even
got-
know. I thought it was right.
Yeah, she thought he was right. She was right automatically. Tevin's got San Francisco. Brittany's got Austin. Rudy's got Oklahoma City. Judd has got Seattle. And I've got San Francisco. So, okay, here we go. I'm clicking on this is America's friendliest LGBTQ plus city. And it is San Francisco.
Yeah.
Little high
That
five.
was
like
my
the other-
guess.
Yeah. No, it
You
wasn't.
just took
There
it.
was no
No.
rule that you couldn't agree with me.
No, you came. As a matter of fact, I just got a message that said Austin came in dead last.
Stay weird.
But
That's
not
their motto.
gay.
But not gay.
But not yet. Stay weird, but
not
gay.
too weird, okay?
Do you think? Well, first of all, friendliest city. Well, you would assume San Francisco. San Francisco has always been known somewhat as a quote unquote gay city, right?
Yeah.
I guess very accepting. Probably the first major city in America to be very accepting, which is good. It's a nice thing. Do you think we'll ever get past having to check and see who the friendliest is to this person, that person, blah, blah, blah? You think we'll ever get past that? Everybody just go, would you just calm down and let people live their lives? Who cares?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things though. You have to say we don't have that perspective, right? Like I don't have to worry about feeling like I can't hold my husband's hand or make out with him. I mean, it'd be kind of weird if I just made out with him in public, but
Yeah,
but I could.
But you could.
But
yeah.
I
And you're
could.
married,
and-
too. It'd be really weird. What are you talking about?
I mean, it'd be weird. If you know my personality at all, it'd be weird. It's like what I probably am on ecstasy at that point. But I think that like it must be nice to go to a place and not have to second guess that if you're in a relationship that you feel like you can't openly do that.
Are there places you can't do that?
I think there's places where they would hold back.
Really?
I'm sure of it. Yeah. Where you like go, let's not hold hands around here. And I'm not saying they're going to be murdered or killed.
No, I understand.
But just feeling uncomfortable. Like, there's something to be said about it's still not a given that you would feel comfortable in that kind of relationship everywhere.
Rudy, do you have an agent in New York?
Not New York, but mostly on the West Coast.
On the West Coast,
Yeah.
okay. The reason I ask you that is because if you had an agent in New York and you couldn't take a joke from a gay man, you ain't going to be there for long.
No.
Because, well, I literally think, other than Minneapolis, that every agent I've ever had is a gay man. Why would I care?
Yeah, well, I guess, yeah, if you think about it, because, I do have a voiceover agent here in Minneapolis who's also gay.
Right.
I never
Well, I
thought,
do now, too, yes.
I never really thought about it before, but I guess, but I don't
who
even see that. I
cares?
just, he's my guy. He's my bud, you
The
know?
only reason that I ever started paying attention to that, his name was Scott Linder, and I loved the guy. But Scott, I don't know if I can say what he said to me the first time I met him. So, because other people will hold it against me and say, oh, he said that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying it anyway.
Do it.
This is the first time I met Scott, and to this, I haven't talked to Scott in a long time now, but I love this guy. He was just funny as a son of a bitch. So I walk in, and I'm a lot bigger than him, and I'm very young and all the rest of it. And he looks up at me and he said, Tom, you're from Minnesota. I said, yeah, I'm from Minnesota. He goes, are you one of those Midwest guys that just loves sports? And I said, yeah, I'm a big fan of sports. He goes, and like I said, he said this, so don't get pissed off at me, all right? Dial it back. Now, I've never met this man. He and I became great friends. Like I said, I love the guy. He's a wonderful guy. He looks at me and goes, so what do you like? And I said, well, I'm a Twins fan, baseball, and Viking football, and I went down the whole list. He goes, no, I only like one sport. And I can't even look at you guys when I say this.
Uh-oh.
I said, oh, yeah, what's that? And he goes, dike hockey. Jesus Christ.
I think that'd be so unsafe. They play on the dike.
Yeah, they play right on the dike. That's how they do. But see, that's the part of him being gay that I loved. He's going to test the, straight guy from Minnesota. I thought it was wonderful.
Sure.
Some people would take that totally negatively. No, Scott and I became great friends because he pushed the boundary the very first time he opened his mouth.
I was expecting far worse, Tom.
Yeah. Well, thank God.
I thought you were going to say something far more off the charts.
I thought we were going to have to play a disclaimer like the thoughts said on this show do not reflect the other people that are sitting in front of you.
Believe me, at times he went there because he was really good at I'm going to poke the bear, and the bear in this case is a heterosexual man.
Yep. Which is
loved
kind of a double entendre because bear is like a...
true that.
Is bear...
Since you settle down over there.
A bear is, like a hairy, a little bit overweight gay man.
Now, the Twin Cities...
Really?
Yeah. I didn't know that's exactly what it was, but it's a bear and there's something else. One's a bear and one's a...
cub. You're saying...
Oh, I don't know. I guess that's new.
Oh, boy. Do you mean twink?
There we go.
Well,
I think
twink is far down
That's
on
what
the
I'm saying, the other
There's
way.
different rates.
Oh, twink. You're talking about twink?
Yeah.
Which feels like a derogatory term.
Yeah,
It
we'd
was.
like to apologize if we were
derogatory term.
not nailing it. We just love the culture.
I mean, who cares? The number one reason I love talking about stuff like this is like I suppose it's the way I grew up and all the rest of it, that I've been around gay people my whole life since I was a teenager. So I don't give a shit. I don't care at all. Right? I mean, is that part of it?
Yeah, I think, and again, just because, there is, I would say most people are very open-minded, but it doesn't take away from the fact that, there could possibly be an uncomfortability about showing affection still in public.
Why?
I just think that that's where you find
cares?
those, I don't know.
Catherine won't kiss me in
and
public.
if you these lists that come out, for example, if it's because if I was looking to move somewhere and I was like, oh, I've never been there, I wonder if there's things that I'm into, as a black person, do you have certain types of restaurants or certain types of things to do that more cater to what I want to do rather than
in Minot? Really? You thought there was going to be
Minot? Why not Minot? That's what they always say.
What's going to cater to me?
The Minot Beavers, by the way, that's their mascot.
Where do these lists come from? Is my question though. I know that they're good talkers, and but who is weighing in on saying, hey, where it's not, and I just don't know. Plus, we love to do. So here's where I think it crosses a weird line. So, Tom, I agree completely with you. The intolerance in this country is disturbing.
It's ridiculous.
But we also, as a society, love to do lists.
Oh yes,
and we love to talk about lists. And I wonder if sometimes those lists generate unnecessary angst, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well,
I don't know who they're polling half the time.
By the way, I'm glad you brought that up because they had the most friendly LGBTQ plus community, San Francisco. Then you got D.C., Seattle, Denver, Boston, Portland, New York, Pittsburgh, Oakland, Atlanta, Minnesota, Minneapolis.
I would have thought Minnesota would be higher on that list.
Absolutely.
Because
I
think we have the second or third largest pride parade.
We do.
Festivities.
My stepbrother Mike, he's gay and he wouldn't live anywhere else in Minneapolis.
No, I understand.
He doesn't even like stepping out of Minneapolis that much because there's that kind of judgmental aspect to it all.
When is the Pride Festival? Is that this weekend?
No, not this weekend, but next.
It's a week because we should. The guy who runs that is a friend of mine.
Get us a float, brah.
Well, you want to have him?
I've walked in the Pride Parade before.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I've been in the Pride Parade.
It was I think it was Absolute Vodka needed somebody. So me and one of my friends.
So they needed a hot guy, is what you're saying.
Well, should we have him on?
Yeah.
Because he'd come in.
Shut up, Brittany. I hate you.
Tevin, the hot guy. Hey, we need a hot guy.
I know what it is. I've been in marketing enough and real.
I'm never sharing personal stories on the show.
Get all red.
What's wrong with it? Red.
Black.
Oh, sorry. I like how serious you got.
I just love how he goes black.
Your voice brought it down an octave.
No,
Shut up, Brittany.
I will talk to him and have him come in.
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
Yeah,
did you just say, Tom, that Boston was on that list? That's impossible.
Yes,
I
agree.
agree.
Feels like a typo.
It's fifth.
No. See, the list is bogus. Though.
I agree.
Yeah.
Boston's one of the most intolerant cities that exists for everything.
Yes.
No.
Right. If you don't live in Boston, they just automatically hate you.
Isn't like Ben
That's pretty
Affleck
much
currently their spokesperson, and he doesn't read gay?
No.
Yeah, Jesus, I don't know what it's. No, I think that'd be a good show anyway.
Yeah, let's have him
Pride
on.
Festival,
Love that.
that whole deal.
Oh, I love Pride.
Because I mean, it's just. I still just don't understand. If you're not involved, it's not like they're coming up asking or hitting on you. What the hell do you care?
Right. It's a lot like if you were a straight man and there's a girl that you're not attracted to that hits on you. It's the same concept. Like there's no.
Does that happen to you
rule
all the
that
time? Is that what you're saying?
No, that's not what I'm saying at all.
All these beautiful women come up. I'm not putting up with them. Forget it.
As the hot guy, Tevin
Right.
knows.
I guess as the show's resident
gotta
hot guy.
fend him off with a stick. No, I want to go home to sleep.
You know, I still love the fact that looking back, and it wasn't. I'm not even taking credit for it because it was an obvious deal. But literally 20, 25 years ago, we had a bunch of transsexual people on the KQ morning show. We had the Pride people on the show. That was at the very beginning. We had a long history of talking about that and supporting it and all the rest of it. But there's some Minnesotans that, oh, God, he's homophobic. It's like, where do you get shit like that? Do you understand where people come up with those ideas?
Do I? No.
No.
Yeah, and why do they like to hang titles on people?
I don't know. I think sometimes it's just an easy go-to when you're
Yeah.
angry about something.
Yep,
it's
I think
easy
you're
to
right.
call somebody a racist or a homophobe or a transphobe because
bring
you
up
don't.
racist in front of when Tevin's here because he'll
In front of Brittany?
he'll catch you. Yeah, in front of
No,
Brittany.
don't please
Yes, in front of
associate.
He'll turn
Brittany.
red again.
Yeah.
Poor
I know.
Tevin's turning red all morning long.
Yeah.
No, I got very lucky at the very beginning of my career on KQRS. It was in a bit that I was reading, and I read the bit, and it had the word fag in it, but it was talking about a cigarette in England. And a guy called me, and I remember I talked to him for about an hour. He goes, "Tom, I really just wouldn't use that term at all anymore." I said, "What's a cigarette?" He said, "Yeah, I understand it's a cigarette in England,
Yeah.
but it's not the way it came off."
Yeah.
You know, so I've been talking about this forever, and now all of a sudden people are jumping on the bandwagon, and they're experts on how this all goes. Like, bullshit. You have
No.
no idea what the hell you're talking about.
No, and I think you've always been willing to listen to people's opinions and
Hell
their
yes.
perspective. And like, the thing is, we're always learning. I'm sure there's things
Absolutely.
I've said even a year ago on air. I mean, nothing like that. But like a year ago on air that I would be like, oh, I wouldn't use that term now. But like,
No, I understand that.
what's better, that I somehow would guess that or that I'm willing to change? And so, of course, if you're not embarrassed by your past, you're not changing. You're not evolving.
No, that's true. But should you be embarrassed by your past?
I think that you should. There should be some cringe.
Yes,
a little
there's
cringe.
100%. Even if you didn't do anything that's quote unquote bad. Like I saw a picture of me from college with like this big baggy T-shirt, and like I was like, delete, gross, never ever again.
Save all of them.
No.
You
That was
have
cool
to.
at the time, Tevin. Though.
Oh, it was. Oh, I looked fresh.
Very
at the time.
stylish.
And
Yeah.
plus, in 10 years, you're going to look back those with such kinder eyes anyways. Like,
Yeah.
keep all your photos, even the naked ones.
It's all true. I want to run through this list because I know Judd's got to go. Judd's got to go in a second here. So I'll run. These are the least friendly LGBTQ plus community cities in America. This is from the top of the lowest to the last one I'm going to read is the very lowest, the least friendly.
All right.
Pembroke Pines, Florida, Brownsville, Texas, Mesquite, Texas, Killeen, Texas,
Starting to sense
Laredo, Texas.
Uh-oh.
There's 4 towns in Texas in a row. Holy God, I would not have guessed that.
Yeah, well, I've been
Makes
in
your
Texas.
Austin, Texas guess look a lot worse.
I don't know, because
It kind of does.
there's a refuge aspect with Austin because
Yes.
Texas is so right wing, and then a lot of people
Yes.
go to Austin when they like lean progressive or
okay.
whatever the term you want to use.
The Wisconsin equivalent of Austin, Madison.
Madison, yeah.
Okay.
It's
It's this refuge. It makes no sense.
Yes.
It's this refuge of normalcy and actually decent people, with all of the Wisconsinites around them being completely drunk and very different.
How do you really feel, Judd? I love that.
Jesus Christ.
I don't mind Wisconsin, but my God,
love
Wisconsin is a
Wisconsin.
different world from a lot of places.
It is, but I love it. I love
Oh, yeah.
parts of it. No. Then you got Augusta, Georgia. You got Garland, Texas. You got Pasadena, Texas. So far 6 of them are in Texas. Miramar, Florida. I don't know if I believe that one. I don't know.
Miramar's nice, right?
Yeah,
Tom?
Miramar is very nice. And then the worst place of them all, I don't believe this at all. Hialeah, Florida. No way are they the most anti-LGBTQ plus community. I'm not buying that at all.
You did not throw out one town that I was thinking to myself before this hit started. You know what? I might move there. In fact, most of the towns that you just read, I didn't even know they existed until you read them.
Pasadena, Texas, never even heard of it. Heard of Pasadena, California.
Pasadena.
Yeah, here's the thing. They talk about the least, friendly to the LGBTQ community. The reason why it's the least friendly is because no one who's gay is in their right mind is going to move to those shitholes.
Yeah.
No one's going to move to frickin' Mesquite, Texas, or whatever you were talking about.
But Hialeah, they would.
Listen,
Miramar, they would.
There's so many other better places on the planet to go live.
Or we take it back. Let's just get a huge group of gay people.
Throw a huge pride parade that goes from Laredo to wherever the other towns in Texas.
You ever seen the gun laws in Texas? I wouldn't do that if I were you.
No.
I would
You're right. I was
not
going
be
to say,
doing
I almost said let's do Florida, but then I was like, same. I mean, it's less so, but Florida also, you got to be worrying who's packing.
Do you really? I've never had a problem with that.
Yeah, well,
I've been going there. I lived there.
The places you hang out, I think, are a little bit more highbrow.
I think
Breakers is not that nice.
I think you've buffered out some of the casual gun use and.
Well, I have a gun in Florida. I have a gun here.
It's my point exactly.
So
they'll give any Yahoo a gun.
Am I going to open fire on all of you?
I would hope not.
I think if you were going to kill us, you would use your hands.
Yeah,
I'd rather just choke you to death.
Yeah, it's more of a personal thing, I think.
It's a
with
crime
Tom.
of passion.
I carry a Post-it note that says Tom did it in my pocket.
That would take a lot of work, you guys.
I have a secondary person holding mine.
All right.
Yeah, because I got a feeling Tevin would go to prison for you.
Yeah, probably not. Judd, you got to go, don't you?
I do indeed. We will talk to you
pal,
tomorrow.
Bring home another win. Is it today a day game?
Day game.
I almost said a
12:10.
gay dame.
Are you going to go to the T-Pain
Well, you know.
concert?
I've screwed up.
What's
What did
that?
I say? Orange is the new black. Black is the new orange.
Black is the new orange.
I say, are you going to the T-Pain concert that is after the Twins game on
I'm going to
Thursday?
miss that one, Tevin.
Hide out in the bathroom. Get the free
I'm really
ticket.
disappointed, but I'm going to miss that one.
Aw.
Well,
I'm sure T-Pain's great, though.
Yeah, you call yourself a Twins fan.
Call him Mr. Payne. Show some respect on that name.
Yeah, sorry, Mr. Payne.
Yeah, but that's too accurate, calling him Mr. Payne. All right, Pally, we will talk to you tomorrow.
Sounds good. Talk to
Looking forward. Judd Zulgad, ladies and gentlemen, Skor North. Yeah, I think, I don't ever hear conversations like this on television, radio, anywhere else. People are so tight-assed about talking about any of this stuff. And, Tevin, you know this. It's skin color. It's sexual orientation. It's all these. They get, even if they're coming, I totally accept it. I can tell by the way you're clenching your teeth that you don't.
Yeah.
They get all touchy about this. They're humans. Relax.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't get it. Well, I mean, Tevin's not human, but everybody else is. Is that a good way to put it?
I've been called worse.
I've been called worse. Yeah, so so none of those towns surprised you. No. I think 7 of them were in Texas.
That's very alarming. I'd be like, we got to at least hide it a little bit, Texas.
See, I would not have thought. I've only been in San Antonio, Dallas, and Houston. I've never been to Austin, which is a very liberal community there because the University of Texas. But I've never, and of course, I suppose I probably wouldn't notice that kind of thing. But in San Antonio, it's not like, but it wasn't on the list either.
No, I feel like those are all kind of smaller towns, and I don't really hear too many like overly positive things ever like coming out of Texas in the news.
Does that? Now, Rudy, you'd know better than anybody else here. Is it still prevalent in northern Minnesota?
What are you talking about? Like
being kind of not really anti-gay, but uncomfortable with the whole idea.
Oh yeah, no, it's very frowned upon.
Yeah,
they don't. They're not. Yeah, no. My entire time there, the 19 years that I lived there, I remember there was one gay business owner that entire time. And after about 18 months, he was like, you know what? I'm going to pack up and go down to St. Cloud. Because
Goodbye.
I can't handle you people anymore. We're done. And that was that. Yeah.
So it's more of a cultural thing than it is a skin color thing or this or that. It's a cultural deal. Small town people are, I guess, just I don't know. They're just maybe not used to it, or I don't know what.
And you're not as exposed to. It's not like you
Yeah.
have
That's right.
as many.
Yeah, there's a couple of cities on that list that you mentioned that were the least friendliest to LGBTQ who
Yeah.
could probably go. Have you guys ever been to a city with less than 25,000 people? Because those cities are probably the least friendliest to LGBTQ.
Yeah,
And
that's
that's-
probably true.
Yeah.
That's just kind of funny because even the fact that you said there was one gay, like, can you imagine if we
Being that one.
Also, like in your mind, the idea of only knowing one gay, like you're inundated constantly with people, or to find out later people are gay or all that thing, all the things that you come across. It's just the idea of the mass amount of people, and I can't imagine the struggle you'd have to fit every single day showing up and being ready to kind of fight your way through that day because you are the one gay person in that town. Like you just get exhausted.
I'd probably move.
I think
Yeah,
that
was the
he
only
made the
one.
right move.
Well, plus the fact, if you're the only one, you can't shtup anybody. Why would you want to live there?
That's the thing, though. The thing is,
No, there's probably some closeted.
thank you. There's
100%.
odds are. What's funny is look
That's
to your
cold.
left, look to your right, because there's definitely everyone's a little gay.
I worked with a guy at a restaurant once, and he was gay, and he was like, "You will not believe the number of husbands, wives, or like the husbands that will leave their wives for me because they're just too in their own head about it."
And that's what you always have to remember. The person who is putting up the biggest fight, the biggest stink, wanting to like fight a gay person or whatever because they're gay, 99% of the time, they are gay. And they are fighting that demon in their head. And that's why they hate that person so much. Because it's rare a well-functioning, or not, I shouldn't say well-functioning, somebody who is thriving in their own mindset is going to care what somebody else is doing.
Yeah.
And that's what's always ends up being true. So just know, we see you. We see what you are doing, and we see you.
We have to take a break. Be right back in a couple minutes. Got a special guest. Mark L. Wahlberg will be with us in just a couple of minutes. Guys, I want to let you know about acoustic wave therapy protocol provided by my new sponsor, Twin Cities Premier Health. Emily did a great job in her interview this morning. I want to bring her in next week in studio. She'll be great. It's a non-invasive, non-surgical, highly effective, science-based procedure that creates an increase in blood flow and helps create new blood vessels by treating the root cause of most erectile dysfunction. In fact, acoustic wave therapy is the latest advancement in the treatment of erectile dysfunction. Sound wave energy is also used to help repair old or damaged blood vessels, stimulate the growth of new blood vessels, which allows for better blood flow. Unlike using a pill to create a pharmaceutically induced erection, they treat the root cause of the problem, which is always a good idea. Age-related erectile dysfunction is most commonly caused by a buildup of plaque. There it is right there. We talked a lot about that. The plaque in the arteries that supply blood to the erectile tissue. Reach out to Twin Cities Premier Health like I did. And right now, I'm 2 in. There are 12 sessions, and I'm 2 in already, and my third one's tomorrow, as a matter of fact. Free treatment, a free consultation when you book today. By the way, it's valued at $800. That's free, $800. 952-395-4346. That's my unique phone number, 952-395-4346. For their office, or go to TwinCitiesPremierHealth.com. Be sure to tell them that Tom Barnard sent you.
This is the Tom Barnard Morning Show.
You need to know a guy for your auto repairs, legal issues, banking, and more. The same goes for investment advice. You need a guy to help you be successful, someone you can trust, who gets results. Well, I got a guy for you, Josh Arnold. Josh gives you straight talk, not sugar-coated advice about your financial situation. Josh has seen it all when it comes to economic and market conditions, and Josh can make sure that your retirement objectives match your investments. Do yourself a favor and call Josh now for a no-obligation, 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll get a different point of view for your investments. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That is 952-925-5608. You'll be glad that you did. And tell him his guy, Tom, sent you.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Special guest Mark L. Wahlberg with us. Temptation Island's 5th season returns today, as a matter of fact, on USA Network. Mark returns as host. Mark is a passionate relationship expert. Well, Mark, there's nothing like relationships. I have to agree. The fact that you're an expert's a good thing. Relationships, You think we should focus more on our relationships? Everybody's talking about, oh, I hate this and I hate that and all the rest of it. Why don't you find somebody you like and hang out with them? What do you think, Mark?
Well, I think a couple things. First of all, I don't know who told you I'm a relationship expert, but I'm grateful that somebody thinks so.
Well, it says here.
I've been in a relationship for a long time. And I think I take that role a little bit on Temptation Island, but I'm just really just shooting from the hip and sharing my own experience there. But back to your question, yeah, I think the more that we are in a relationship that's healthy and supportive, the better chance we have to have a happy life.
Yeah, I mean, Mark, it's so obvious to me. Everybody's, oh, I hate this, and I hate the year, and you got this political belief, and you got that political belief. Why don't you focus on the people you love in your life and go forward, man? Relax. So I like it.
You know, I people call me like an expert, but really most of the advice I give is stuff I've learned from my wife. And she kind of says, and she has a better phrase that I can't remember right now, but she says, you know, you kind of get what you focus on. So if you're focusing on what you hate all the time, well, you're going to get more of that. And if you focus on the good things in your life, what she calls an attitude of gratitude, you end up getting more of that. So I think there's truth in what you said.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that, Mark. I got to read something to you because obviously you weren't sent the descriptor because it says here, Mark is a passionate relationship expert. It does say that on here, but then down.
Oh, I know it says that, but what I'm telling you is I didn't say that. You know, okay, and what's funny is I'm a TV host who ended up hosting this show, and in doing so, the only way I know how to host a show is to bring the real version of me.
Yep.
Right. So
yep.
When we got into it, there was really no script, and I got these couples that are grappling with these big issues, and I would just relate with them in this authentic kind of way that I know how to do and share my experience with them. And so now people are calling me, like, you know, all day long, are you a therapist? I'm like, no, there's no letters after my name. I've just been in the game of life a lot longer than the people who are on the show.
Well,
so I'm really grateful that people think of me in that light, and I'm happy to help if I can. But I'm really clear with the people. I'm like, look, just so you know, all my advice is worth exactly what you paid for it, which is $0. So good luck.
There you have it. I got to repeat this again. USA Network's Temptation Island returns for a new season today. It is at 8 o'clock Central, of course, 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central, and you go whatever time zone you're in right now listening to this. Just pick your time zone. You're good to go. Now, I do have to read one other thing on here, Mark L. Wahlberg, because
go ahead.
I just like the way it's written. Temptation
okay.
Island, here we go, and Temptation Island and the new dating show, The Big D, are part of USA's Wednesday night Hump Day programming lineup. So you went with Big D and Hump Day in the same sales. That's great.
Well, you know, Hump Day is classically Wednesday, so let's be real. That's true.
Okay.
If you want to add some other connotation to it, that probably applies with both shows. And the Big D, by the way, that D stands for divorce, not everything else. Although I think every version of D shows up. But that show. Yeah. That show's on at 10 o'clock right after our show at 9 o'clock. Both shows deal with relationship issues. Both are sexy and messy, but both have this heart of authenticity and real talk that I think people kind of dig. So check them both out.
Mark, do we go through periods where we're into relationships and we're not? And I'm talking about maybe as a society and as an individual. Do people come and go with that kind of deal? Catherine and I have been married now for 38 years. I've known her for 42 years. I love the woman more than I ever have. So, I mean, do people just have different ways of looking at what the relationship means to them? Because I don't even know if I'd want to hang around without her.
Well, absolutely. And I've been married 35 years, been together about 38. So we're in the same sort of time situation. And I think when you're at the place we are, we realize that whether we like one another every day, that's fluid. But needing one another to survive, that's constant. And so what I'm constantly coaching towards on my show is, look, you came into this, and all of us did this from like middle school up. We kept saying I love you to people, and every time that ended and the new relationship came, we said, oh, that wasn't love, this is. Mm-hmm. So what I'm kind of saying and coaching towards is, let's keep working to have a deeper definition of what love means before we say it. Because the deeper that relationship, well, the deeper that definition is, the more you get a definition of love that's authentic and healthy, the better chance you have of something that's lasting. But I think we throw it out and going, oh, this is love. And then you're like, wait, that wasn't love, that was infatuation. Or this is love. No, that was just love. That wasn't it. Or I just really like her, but I didn't love her. You know, so every time we I hate to say the words fail, but every time relationships end and we start something new, we have a chance to reset and learn from the last one and be better in the next one. And that's what I think a lot of what's the underlying theme of Temptation Island.
Mark, do you think part of that is your family and the culture in which you grew up? The reason I'm throwing that out, yesterday was my grandson's 5th birthday. And he has a sister.
Oh, happy birthday.
Very nice of you, Mark. Thank you. He has a sister, Fawny, who's 7 years old, and both of them call me Bop Bop. They just love calling, hey, Bop Bop, how you doing? I don't, she came up with it. But in any case, we're leaving the restaurant last night after having the birthday dinner, and we're walking back to the car, and 7-year-old Fawny comes up and hugs me and goes, Bop Bop, I love you. Is that still in my life, the family that we have, it's just magnificent. Do we have that everywhere, or is that at a much lower rate, the love in a family? Because can you learn to love somebody outside your family if you don't love anybody inside your family?
Well, that's a really great question, and my answer would be yes, you can learn to love out of any situation, but you probably have bigger hurdles to climb. In a perfect world, which doesn't exist, but let's just play this out. If you have 2 loving parents who are together, or even one loving parent, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It really doesn't matter what the structure of that family is, but if you have the backbone of healthy love, relationship, and intimacy, then you have a better chance of reproducing that. But if you don't have that, that doesn't mean it's something you can't access. Mm-hmm. And sometimes actually having the bad example gives you a reason or an impetus to work for the good example. You don't want to repeat that behavior. But what you're talking about is something we talk about on the show all the time, is that if you come from this situation where you never had even the closest resemblance of a model of what a good, loving relationship is between 2 people, how do you think you're going to have that? So that's the journey of life. Right. We can have all kinds of excuses of why we aren't successful, but we have to climb up and rise above and learn and teach and evolve, and everybody's capable of that.
You're absolutely right. Each couple must decide whether to commit to a lifetime together or if they will ultimately give in to the temptation from the singles looking to find the one. Yeah, so it's exactly what we're doing. Maybe you have to learn how to love somebody before you can say, you know what, I love this person. You probably... Maybe a lot of us do have to.
I think we got to learn how to do a lot of things.
Yeah.
I think most importantly, we need to be open to learning as opposed to believing we already know the answer. And even me, as I'm sitting in front of these couples who are far younger than me, and I'm sort of supposed to know what I'm talking about, there are many times where I've had to check myself and go, wait a minute, that's old thinking. That's not the way the world works anymore, and I need to kind of apologize and figure this out and grow myself. So, it's a give and take there.
No question. Ladies and gentlemen, Mark L. Wahlberg, Temptation Island's 5th season returns tonight at 9 o'clock Eastern Time, 8 o'clock Central on USA Network. Mark returns as host. Mark is a passionate relationship expert and a damn good guest, too, Mark. So come back soon, Pally.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot,
Thank you for having me, and I look forward to, thank you.
Thanks. I look forward to,
That was a great interview.
He was good. Yeah, he did a really nice job.
Those are some great questions, too. I think that's,
But don't you think that's the truth? Unless you learn, you talk about your mother all the time and how she, you're very close to your mother and all the rest of it. Do you think you could learn to love someone if you didn't love your mother? That'd be tough, man.
It'd probably be tough.
But you can't doom people, right?
No.
I think you're right. I think you made a lot of good points. I think he made a lot of good points. You also have to be open to learning.
Yes, you do.
Learning how to love somebody and what that looks like without the whole movie Hollywood glamour around it, where you have fun breakfast where you're dancing in the morning. There's also, did you leave my car on empty, Justin? Right. There's those moments.
You didn't refill the Brita
water dispenser, and you're in the morning, and can't find one of my shoes because he put it somewhere. Yeah, so it's learning what love is and what is a constant, and I think that's such a good point you made, Tom.
Well, no, I just think that is. But the only reason I can make points like that is I adore my wife, and hopefully she's fond of me, if you know what I'm saying.
She just texted me. She says you're okay.
He's hanging in there.
She's all right.
That's what it is. All right, well, that's going to do it for another day. We'll be back with the family in just a few minutes.